Oh, we're so back. We're already back on Friday, but now we're so back. Welcome back.
Thanks.
It's been a minute. Does it feel like it's been a while?
Yeah.
It does, right?
I feel like I'm still on different time zone too.
What time is it for you, ish?
Well, I was in Africa for the last 20 days. So that's 9 hours, 9 or 8 hours ahead. So, well, I mean, total, yeah. So I think, yeah. And then supposed to get home 2 days ago. Flight got canceled because Amsterdam, I don't know if you've ever been to Amsterdam. Listen, they can't handle snow.
No?
The airport cannot handle snow at all.
So it snowed and they just can't?
They just canceled every flight.
Wow.
And we were on our flight, and then the pilots timed out. You know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had to get off, spend the night in Amsterdam, which is, by the way, Amsterdam's never a bad place to have to spend the night. But then flew yesterday morning, 10 hours, whatever it is to get back here. No luggage. They were like, oh, we'll just leave your luggage on the plane. They had to take it off because one idiot asked for their luggage off the plane. So
that ruins everybody.
So that took everyone's off. So then I had to go to the airport this morning to get my luggage. But I will say this. Thank you, God, for Delta Airlines and their baggage people, especially at MCO. Thank you, Jesus. Because on our way there, we were going Orlando to Seychelles, okay? Our flight, we missed our connector in Atlanta, and they had to pull my bags off, my family's bags off. We had 7 or 8 bags because we were there for so long. And they said, like, oh, it's going to take 5 hours to get them off. And I said, listen, I had to buy a plane ticket from Orlando to Seychelles one way on the spot. And that was not cheap. Okay,
No.
We're not even going to discuss that part of it. But they got my bags off in under an hour, and we were able to put our bags on our new flight. So instead of having a layover in Johannesburg, we had a layover in Dubai because I went from Delta to Emirates to fly.
And they got your bags.
They got our bags off in
situated.
under an hour, which
Wow.
was unbelievable. And
Did
so
you miss
thank
your
to
flight?
Delta.
Did
No.
you Scott it? Why'd you have to buy
No. We missed our connector because it was delayed. So then I was talking, you guys don't even want to know. So then I was talking about, this is all big first world problems, so I apologize. But I was trying to beat the plane to Atlanta because we had to pick up a connector in Atlanta to Joburg. I called my buddy who does private planes for a living, and I was like, hey man, can you get me a private plane now to get me to Atlanta? And he's like, oh, and it still wasn't going to make it. So it was bad. It was bad. I'm glad it worked out, but what a great trip. I know Kratz was recently in Africa. What an unbelievable trip. Seychelles, Mauritius, and then the Serengeti, all unbelievable. Highly recommended. But Delta, thank you. And then my luggage lost yesterday. They got it there today. So thank you, Delta. Thank you, all that. But Amsterdam, your airport, you need to revamp it. It's a beautiful airport, but you guys can't handle snow, and I think it snows there a lot, so y'all need to figure it out. Because it was like 400 flights canceled.
That's crazy.
It was
They
unbelievable.
can't handle snow. It's not like it doesn't snow in Holland.
Apparently it doesn't.
That's crazy.
But it was great because I got to go with my kids to Amsterdam. They've been there before, but so we literally got there late, and it was snowing like full. Like for me, y'all are used to snow, but for me this is like a full blizzard. I mean, like full blizzard, and I didn't have any clothes. I had a hoodie, like a lightweight hoodie, and some pants, like some joggers, because I wasn't prepped for spending a night in Amsterdam. My daughter's like, I want to walk to the damn square right in the middle of Amsterdam. I'm like, it's 30 degrees and snowing. She's like, I don't care. So we walked down there and got us some of them little pancakes they make, which are delicious. I don't know if you ever had a little pancakes they make in Amsterdam.
I've been there.
Nighttime pancakes? Yum.
Oh, so good. But anyways, yeah, we ended up having 2 layovers in places we didn't think we would have them. Dubai, which we had an awesome time because we went to the top of the Burj, which my kids love doing. They've been there a couple times, so they always want to go to the top of the Burj. And we got to go to Din Tai Fung, which I always go to anytime there's a Din Tai Fung in the city I'm in. I always go. And it's a you can't have it, Scott, but it's like
Dumplings.
a dumpling place.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Heard of it.
And then we got a night in Amsterdam, which I wasn't counting on either.
Do you have a picture of anything cool in Africa for us that we can show?
I mean, I have a lot of cool.
Slap.
What do you want to see? You want to see lions
Whatever
eating?
Yeah, something like that.
You want to see? I put on my Instagram a leopard catching catfish, and I wrote catfishing, and my family did not get it until I explained it to them. And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I go, "Well, there's 2 things. There's a cat fishing, and then there's a cat catching catfish. So he was catfishing."
Well, you're a famous YouTuber podcaster, so you have to be the cool guy.
And they didn't get it. They were like, "Wait, we thought you were talking about like the catfishing like you see on MTV where they like fake, someone's fake, like Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
You didn't do a play on words?
I did it on purpose for that.
That's what
but
I'm
it
saying.
fit so many different things. I mean, I can show you all kinds of cool stuff. But
just give us like one or two of your best, and we'll show it at the end of the show.
I mean, I don't want to offend anybody because I know some people get mad with how like, I don't want to show a lion eating an antelope.
But that's nature.
I know, but some people think it's weird.
Okay.
Like Claude, like producer lady, she probably thinks that's weird.
I don't think so. I feel like Claude's a baller with that stuff.
Yeah.
But send her one or two things that you think are worth checking out at the end of the show, and we'll do that. Also, happy birthday while you were gone.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it was my birthday.
That was
because
part of your trip.
Yeah, because I'm not a big birthday guy. Oh, you know what else we did, which I want to do? I turned 50 next year. We climbed not base camp, the first stop on the way to Kilimanjaro. So we went up the mountain, I don't know, 3 hours or whatever it was to the first camp, and it takes like 4 days to get to the top.
You did that on this trip?
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's in Tanzania in Africa.
Got it.
It's 20,000 feet. So we got to 12,000 feet, I think it was, which is the first camp, which is really cool. So now for my 50th birthday, I want to go and climb it.
The whole
Should be
thing?
Next year, yeah. It takes 4 or 5 days, depending on how fast you are, what kind of shape you're in.
Are you going to train?
They said you have to. My son was like, I ain't training.
You have to train your lungs.
I know. But that's why you have to go slow.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really not that far, because they have a sign that says it's like 4 kilometers to the next camp, but you go up like 2,000 feet. And then everyone is like 4 kilometers, 2,000 feet, 4,000 kilometers. But you walk like.
You have to adjust. Wait, adjust.
Yeah.
Next round.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Anyways.
Okay. But I like that. That's a good 5-0 for next year.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned. In about an hour and 45 minutes from now, you'll get a photo or two.
I got to dig through my phone.
AJ's expedition. But let's begin with big news over the weekend.
He's charging the mound.
Kazuma Okamoto and the Toronto Blue Jays hook up on a 4-year, $60 million contract. Kratz, surprised that the Blue Jays come up with Okamoto? The questions about his defense regard the outfield and even third base to an extent. It sounded like many teams were interested in him as a first baseman. The Blue Jays have a first baseman named Vladdy Jr. So what do you think of the move?
Very surprised. I mean, we talked about the different, could they go Tucker? Could they go Bichette? What does that do to Barger? Well, obviously now this pushes Barger out to right field. Barger was a good third baseman. Is this new signing going to be just more added offense? I mean, it's similar offense. He struck out about 10% of the clip. He dropped his strikeout percentage last year from the previous season, 5%. So that's huge. He still has slug. I mean, his OPS in Japan last year for the Yomiuri Giants was over 1,000. Like, this is a huge pickup. It just was very unexpected for me. I thought if they were going to go somewhere, it would be Bichette or Tucker.
They still can.
Yeah.
Most insiders are saying irrelevant. Yeah. So this is
Totally.
just icing on the cake before they actually figure out if it's Tucker, Bichette, or someone else. It does sound like Bregman is out of the picture.
Yeah.
Because they
have Barger and they have Ernie Clement. They can kind of bounce around a little bit.
And Okamoto for third.
Okamoto.
So that's too many third basemen.
Yeah. I think it's Bichette to play second, maybe short,
mm-hmm.
or Tucker in the outfield. Because they also Varsho and Springer are free agents at the end of the year. So that would kind of lessen if those guys leave. So I don't think it excludes them from doing anything.
Me neither. And they need a lefty more than a righty bat.
Yes, and they're feeling it. You know why they're feeling it? Because they just went to the World Series and they were this far from winning it. I mean, they were this far from winning the World Series.
We say this all the time, but yeah, a couple times. Their payroll was the highest it ever was last year, and it doesn't always work out. Ask the Mets, but they made it 5 seconds away from winning a World Series, and then they have reinvested it. I heard they made stupid amounts of money. I can only imagine
because you saw how excited Toronto was.
Yes.
So of course they reinvested, which was
Canada's
great.
Huge.
Yeah, they have the whole country. They don't have just a city; they have a country behind them.
I love Okamoto, the bat, by the way.
Yeah, people worry about his defense.
Yes.
And one thing about the Blue Jays, they were really good defensively.
Yes.
Right.
So that's the other part. That's the other part that surprises me. Because third base is such a huge position defensively. Yes, I get it. Shortstop is. Yes, catcher is. Yes, center field is. And they have some of the best right now. Even with Andres Gimenez playing shortstop, you just think about, when they had Matt Chapman and their starters had the lowest ERA in baseball. If it's a question, which obviously they're like, hey, we're totally fine with it if we're really good defensively everywhere else, does it come back to bite them? Because you're not paying a guy $15 million a year. You're not have a 4-year contract to like bring a defensive third baseman in. And I don't know that there was necessarily one out on the market. It's not like Barger's won a Gold Glove this year. It's he played right field and third base. It's not like Ernie Clement is going to win a Silver Slugger or won a Silver Slugger this past year. He had a ridiculous World Series. But this is just an example of what we think most teams should do. You see a window. You don't just like go through the window. You smash through it and you make sure you have enough offense, enough defense, enough pitching, everything to get back there and win, and then win again and again.
What's the thing that the SWAT team uses to open doors?
A battering ram?
Yeah, they're using a battering ram right now to open their.
But is everyone? How come no one's complaining that the Blue Jays are going to ruin
the sport?
Yeah,
Dodgers fans are. There's so many that
Dodger
commented over the weekend. They're like, Blue Jays are ruining baseball. I mean, they're being sarcastic, tongue in cheek. They're like, Blue Jays ruining baseball with them actually trying this off season. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it adds significant versatility. If you do get an injury, you're in great shape with the configuration, as long as they're not planning to trade anyone and they theoretically will add someone like Bo, Kyle Tucker, or someone else we're not thinking about. Also, I should mention, there is a posting fee. So it's 4 years, 60 plus about 11 mil. So it's really 4 years, 71 mil in terms of money that they're giving out. They give 11 million to his team, the Giants, over in the NPB. But I mean, again, I haven't watched a ton of games. I haven't watched any full games with him, but I've watched plenty of ABs. I watched World Baseball Classic he was in last year. He homered off, or not last year, last time in 2023, homered off Kyle Freeland. But it's a simple swing. There's contact, takes walks, has pop. How much pop? Is it 15 homer pop? Is it 30 homer pop? There's pop, though. Mm-hmm. So this fits exactly what the Blue Jays like as a hitter. It's really what everyone in baseball should like as a hitter. But you know how we talked a lot about the Blue Jays and contact, and then you get the analytics crowd being like, well, you need slug too. And it's like, yeah, they had both. They had contact and slug. Who fits that? Okamoto.
Yeah, he's a good signing for him. I like this signing. I like this signing a lot. And it gets him into the Japanese market, which, listen, say what you want, but that is a big deal because they love baseball and they follow their players, and it brings more money into the organization. I mean, Shohei didn't start this because Ichiro was kind of the first big. Nomo was like the first one, right? Came over with the tornado windup and all that with the Dodgers. But then there was a little lull, and then Ichiro hit, right? And then the Mariners went for it with Sasaki. They tried the catcher Jojima. And then some other teams have tried it. The Yankees tried it with Arabu and some of the Matsui, right? But then Matsui, Hideki, Godzilla came over, and next thing you know, in Yankee Stadium, there was signs in Japanese, which you've never seen before. Right. And the teams that have done this and done this right, and then Shohei just took it to another level.
Yeah.
Right. He wiped everybody off the board. But the teams are now starting to learn from the Dodgers. Man, if we can get a Japanese star, we can make money. Like he signed for $460, that's $15 a year, okay? Which is a lot of money. But if you think you get some of the Japanese sponsors behind him and he does well and the Blue Jays are off the charts playing well and every Japanese TV is tuned in, guess what? That's nothing.
Those contracts pay for themselves if the guy is a star there.
Yes.
And he's been a star in NPB. He's a name. He's probably been the most consistent hitter in Japan in the NPB from 2018 to 2025. The most consistent dude. And you look at like his, the StatCast page that they have. I don't remember what it's called, but like the baseball savant they have out in NPB, he's like near 99 percentile or whatever on almost everything. So he's a star out there. We'll see how that converts. I do want to bring in Jim Bowden right now to comment on this too. So let's get right to our resident GM. Because JB, I heard that you like the player, but you have some thoughts on this signing. So would you like to share them with us?
Yeah, I like the player. I don't like the fit for Toronto. I don't like that they signed him. I don't like that they invested $70 million in him. I would rather see the $70 million go towards Kyle Tucker or Bo Bichette or both for that matter. Now, I like the player a lot. Why? I think he can hit, and I think he's got more power than people think. So I really like the bat. And I think the bat fits in their blueprint, the exact blueprint that got them to the World Series. this guy can hit with power, and he puts the ball in play. He'll draw a walk. So I really like the player. He can't play third base, okay? He's a below-average defender at third, and I think one of the things I loved about this Toronto Blue Jay team last year is that it was the best defensive team in the American League. And I love the fact that they could hit for average, they could hit for power, and they played plus defense all over the field. I think that was their calling card last year, and I loved it. Now you have a below-average defender at third base. I don't like that at all. His best position's first base. I think he's a plus defender at first, but Guerrero owns first base. He lives there, and he's only going to get to play first if Guerrero wants a day off or if he gets injured, which hopefully won't happen. And you can't DH him because that's George Springer has that spot, and Anthony Santander is waiting for that spot. And you really can't put him in the corner outfield. What are you going to do? Put him in right with Santander and left? That doesn't work for me defensively. So I just don't like the fit. I was fine with Barger and Clement at third base. Bring back Bichette, sign Tucker. I just like that pathway better. But don't get me wrong. You never have enough good players. And if you have that extra money in Canada and you can be throwing $70 million at a guy that's best role now to me is part-time first, third, left, right, DH, okay. But as an everyday third baseman, I personally don't like the fit.
Even if they sign a Tucker? Would you feel the same even if they sign a Tucker? And also from a GM standpoint, how much do you say, yeah, we are totally defense. We're really good at defense. It's okay if we have a little bit below average at third. Or do you say, no chance, I'm never being an elite defensive team taking one position where I'm a little bit below average?
Yeah, I'll take left field below average, and I can live with that, and I've already got that with Santander. If I'm the Dodgers, I have it with T.O. I'm okay with that one corner outfield spot being below. I don't want to be below in the infield. No. All those ground balls on the left side of the infield, they got to be outs or they got to be double plays for me. I need the range. I need the glove. I need the accuracy. I need the consistency. I believe in elite infields to win world championships. Now, your question about Tucker. Look, I'm a Barger guy, to be honest. I like him more than most people do. I think he's going to be a legit 30 home run bat. I'm a fan of his. And so, look, if it ends up being Barger and Okamoto and they're platooning at third base, I probably can live with that if that's going to be the role. $60 million to platoon at third. Okay, I'll buy into that if they sign Tucker. Sure, I feel a lot better about it. And then you have Clement at second with Jimenez at short. Yeah, that works for me. I do think Toronto needs another left-handed hitter, and I do think Tucker would be the perfect fit there if they can make that happen too.
Okay, that was my next question. This doesn't mean the Blue Jays can't sign Tucker if they want to, correct? And also, how good can the Blue Jays be with the team they have right now? We saw they almost won the World Series last year, and they've added this offseason. Now, they don't have Bo yet because they could possibly still bring him back. But one, why does this stop them from signing Tucker? I don't think it does. And two, how good can this team be? Because right now on paper, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're favorites to win the American League for sure. I'll get to that in a second. I want to answer your first question first. So I was told by the Blue Jays that this does not take them out of Tucker or Bichette. It takes them out of doing both Tucker and Bichette, but it doesn't take them out of doing one or the other. It does take them out of Alex Bregman. So they still have an opportunity to sign either Tucker or Bichette. I'm expecting them to get one of the two. Now, in terms of what this has meant to the team, I'm going to focus on the pitching side. Okamoto doesn't move the needle for me. What moves the needle for me is Dylan Cease. Only pitcher in baseball last 5 years, 200 innings, 200 strikeouts, 30 starts. What moves the needle for me is watching Cody Ponce on video. That stuff just plays. If he lives up to potential, he could be one of the best undervalued free agents that we've seen sign this offseason. What moves the needle for me? Tyler Rogers. I love the left-handed submariner. Give me a different look in the bullpen. Add bullpen depth. Help me improve that setup spot. Love that a lot. So the three pitchers they brought in for a team that was a half an inch away from winning the World Championship, that moves the needle for me. I think they're the team to beat right now in the AL East and the team to beat in the league. And I think if they were able to sign Tucker or bring back Bichette, it just puts that double red exclamation point we all have on our iPhones. It makes it more prominent.
JB, we're going to do a separate combo coming up in a second about everything else that's left on the board here, and there's a lot. But to wrap up the conversation on some of these international signings, did you feel like it was weird this year and that it could lead to some type of battle in the future between NPB and MLB? Okamoto actually kind of saves things because that's more of your standard contract. but Imai can opt out, and I believe the posting fee would then be lessened at that point. Even Takahashi, who we didn't spend a lot of time on, ends up staying in NPB, and he'll get opt-outs, I think, in his contract over there, so that he can then hit the market again here and not have any posting fee. Point is, as a league, NPB's goal is to get as much money as possible for the players they control. It seems like they're getting less of that, even with a Murakami, who's a superstar out there, ends up signing a 2-year contract that's a low posting fee, and then if he's good, he'll get his big contract without a posting fee.
I think, Scott, it just comes down to the evaluation of Major League Baseball front offices on these players. Let's take Imai for a minute. Most of the teams that I talked to were really concerned about his fastball. Yes, it's got velocity. A lot of teams tell me it's straight. They don't like the fact he can't locate it. They're worried about the command and control of the fastball as well as the life. They love the break-in stuff. I had several teams tell me that he's probably better suited for the bullpen in the back end, that would probably be the best role where he can throw the breaking ball most of the time because, his split finger and slider are wipeout caliber stuff. Now, I talked to Joe Espada, the manager of the Astros, yesterday morning. He made it very clear to me that they see him as a starter. Now, when I talk to other teams about Imai, basically what I'm told is, hey, he's a 4th starter with a ceiling to be a 3rd. So I think that evaluation had more to do with the contract he ended up signing than anything else. And then with Murakami, as we've all talked about on this show, he has great power and great holes at the plate, right? So is he Russell Branyan or is he more than that? How will he adjust to the pitching over here? No one can argue the power. There are some people that say he's Dave Kingman. I say not. I say because of his high on-base percentage, he's going to be better than that. I think it's going to be a good signing for the White Sox. But I think best case scenario, he's a 240 hitter with 30 home runs. So we'll have to wait and see how they perform. And I think to answer your question, Scott, how these 3 guys perform this year, along with the contracts, will have a lot to say of what happens in the future in transactions with the NPB.
Okay, fair enough. And now let's get to domestic free agents. Okay, what's going on here, JB, for Front Office Unfiltered? We've got the top 3 on the Athletic big board that has not been signed yet. Ken Rosenthal, your colleague over there, pointed out in here 6 of the top 9 not signed yet. I believe it's 20 of the top 50. We're about a month away from an early spring training that's starting for the World Baseball Classic. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, so one thing we have to keep in mind is when Juan Soto got $765 million from the Mets a year ago and Vladimir Guerrero got $500 million from the Blue Jays, there was a lot of thought that those contracts would pull everybody up. And what we've kind of found out is that's not the case. They're being treated as an aberration, as one-offs. So I think Kyle Tucker's representatives, led by Casey Close, were looking for 10 to 12 years between $400 and $500 million based on the Guerrero signing. And I think because of the injury, because of other factors, that market is never developed or hasn't as of yet with Kyle Tucker. The other thing that's happened to Kyle Tucker is the New York teams are not in on him. Yankees are chasing Bellinger. If they don't get Bellinger, they're not going to pivot to Tucker. They don't believe that how well he'll handle New York. I've heard the same thing about the Mets' view of Kyle Tucker as well. That takes 2 big markets out. So, what some of these agents are looking at, we had the Schwarber sign, the Alonso signing, but Bregman's not getting the long-term offer yet that he's looking for. There are teams concerned of Bo Bichette in terms of, not having the bat speed or the barrel percentage, some of the analytics in terms of how he'll age, even though he's only 27 years old. So you have a lot of different evaluation processes going on. You have a lot of big contracts on the board. For example, Dylan Cease got $210 million from Toronto. That's what Framber Valdez was expecting, and Framber hasn't gotten that. Ranger Suarez, look, I think the Baltimore Orioles are going to probably end up signing him. They're working hard to do it, but they're asking for a lot because he only has 768 innings on his odometer arm. He's very young, right, in his 20s. Zach Gallen's coming off the worst year of his career. What's the reason for that? Mechanics, the pressure of the free agent year. What is the solution there? So there's a lot of issues with each of these guys, but I have no problem with this dripping into January. like the foul territory ratings are going to continue to go up because we have all these free agents out there. We're going to have a month of great signings that are going to be covered here as well as anybody in the sport. So for all of us, this is great that it's dragged on.
I agree, Jim. I just don't want to have producer lady make some stupid where will Bo go or where will Kyle go, front end where she has the music that she loves to play and they know annoys the crap out of me. So I'm happy that the signings drag on, right? Because the signings dragging on are good because people are still talking baseball, even though it's NFL playoffs and NBA's in the middle of the season, NHL and all this stuff is going on. People are still talking about baseball in all these cities. It is a good thing. So I am tired of people saying, we should January 1st, there should be a signing deadline. Okay, well, let's say January 1st is the signing deadline, and then one of your pitchers is throwing in the offseason and goes, ow! And Zach Gallen sitting out there. You can't go sign him because the signings have already happened. Like, I'm against that. But what I want to know is we've talked Tucker, we've talked Bichette, Bregman, everyone kind of thinks he's going to go back to the Red Sox. But Cody Bellinger has been in the news more than probably anybody that I've seen because it's like, is it just a New York battle for Cody Bellinger? Is it just Mets, Yankees? Because that's what I keep seeing. Every time I look on my social media, it's like the Mets won him, the Yankees won him. Is it going to be a Big Apple battle for Cody Bellinger?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I think the Yankees have put a value on him. They've made an offer on him. He's been their priority this offseason. They're also in on Bo Bichette as kind of the pivot if they don't get Bellinger because they feel their lineup is too left-handed. They'd like to get a right-hand bat. And, of course, Bichette could play second, and Chisholm could get moved over to third, or Chisholm could get traded for that matter. But Belly is a very important part of that team. I don't think they're sold on Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones at this point. So they've got Judge, they've got Grisham. I think they would really like to have Belly that would protect them all over the outfield as well as first base as well. I don't know who else is in there. I mean, I have a hard time believing David Stearns is going to give him the 5-year deal he wouldn't give Pete Alonso. I'm not sure how that's going to sell at the podium, to be honest. There could be a mystery team on Bellinger, but he might not want to go there. I've heard whispers about the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have had a very good offseason improving their offense. Bellinger would be a huge jump for them. I'm not hearing a reunion with the Dodgers, although I've heard that Bellinger would like to go back if he doesn't end up in New York, that LA would be a choice for him. But I kind of think his first choice would be to stay in New York. So I think that's why we really haven't heard a lot after that. But again, the Boras Corporation can be very under the radar. They love surprising the media and the fans with last-minute moves on teams that never leaked out. So, we just got to be patient and wait. In terms of Bregman, I don't think it's a slam dunk he goes back to Boston. I do think both the Cubs and Diamondbacks are still in there. And remember this, and you guys know this, like everybody could have a similar offer on the table, but it only takes one owner, one president, one GM to get out of a bed a certain way and say, you know what, I'm going to do an extra year, an extra $30 million, and I'm going to get the player today. That's all it takes sometimes. So again, I don't think anything's a slam dunk until it's officially announced or leaked to John Heyman.
One of the things I've always noticed about the catching market, I like that joke, by the way. I hit it. I heard the laugh, and I should have reacted better. But what is JT Realmuto's actual market? And does it really matter? Because isn't he just going to go back to the Phillies with whatever offer he gets, and then the Middletons are going to say, yes, we still want you to be our guy?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to, you guys know it's hard to get a pay cut, right? I mean, a lot of us have had to do it in our careers. It's never fun to do it. It's harder to do that deal when you know it's going to be cut, and when you're 35 years old and the numbers say you're aging and declining, you can't deny it. You're just not going to get paid at that level. So you're still trying to get respectable contract, and so you grind it out and you look at all the different options. I think if he had a better option, he would have taken it. I think he needs to go back to the Phillies. I think the Phillies need him as much as he needs the Phillies. I think he's a very important person on that team with that pitching staff that he knows so well. They have a great relationship. He has a great relationship with Rob Thompson, the manager. So, I think JT, but it's business, you guys know, and you want your agents to grind. You want to get, this could be the last contract he gets, right? It could be a 2-year deal worth $36 million, but the extra $1 million or $2 million, if this is the last time he works in his life, possibly, he wants it to be as the biggest number that he can possibly get. So I don't know what the other options are in terms of trading. I know the Phillies have inquired about other catchers on other teams. I've never heard any traction on any deal that way. So I think it's something we're monitoring. But if I had to guess, and it's only a guess, at some point he'll return to Philadelphia on a 1 or 2 year deal.
Makes sense. And yeah, what's 1 or 2 more million after the contracts he's already signed? If he's comfortable there, then go back and enjoy your time with Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. I get it. Jim, I want to know about the Pirates, okay? The Pirates have signed O'Hearn. They've done all these things, and they're in the Gino Suarez sweepstakes. Did Bob Nutting just find a money tree somewhere miraculously and say, hey, you know what, guys? There's pressure on me, and I found this money tree, so I'm going to start spending my money. Why haven't they done this in the past? Is it because they have Skeens and Jones and Bubba Chandler and all these guys that are lined up, and now they finally think this is their chance to pounce on an NL Central? Why have the Pirates all of a sudden found this free money that they never had for all these years? Or is it because there's a collective bargaining session coming up, and then Bob Nutting and the Pirates can say, look, the Pirates can spend money. We don't need a cap. They just have to do it at the right time.
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, I think the reality is set in that you're not going to have Paul Skeens much longer. And if you want to try to win, your window of winning is going to be when Skeens is part of this rotation. I think they believe, and they should, that they have a rotation that can win a division in the NL Central. And I think they're accurate if Jared Jones comes back and was the guy prior to the injury. And you got to get Skeens some runs. Like, we can't keep watching the Pirates score 1 run, no runs, or 2 runs every time Skeens takes the mound. So I think the clamoring has been so loud for several years, but they see that, look, if they just get a mediocre offense, they've got a chance to win more than they lose and at least be in the conversation come September. And I think they've accomplished that. And I think we should credit Bob Nutting and Ben Cherington for trying this offseason. The trade for Brandon Lowe with 31 home runs last year, the trade for Ryan O'Hearn, who's coming off the best offensive season of his career, the trade for the prospect from the Red Sox, the outfielder Garcia, who should be able to make this team as a starting outfielder out of spring training, and the rookie Connor Griffin, who could end up being rookie of the year. He's ultra talented. Not sure he's major league ready, but that's 4 new guys to your lineup. That's going to make O'Neal Cruz better. That's going to make Brian Reynolds better. And again, we're just looking for an offense that was last in baseball in runs scored, last in home runs, to be at least enough respectable that you have a chance to win more than they lose. So baseball-wise, they had to do it. Now, your last issue, I believe, 100% has a lot to do with some of the factors that we're seeing this offseason, and that is the realization of all 30 teams that we're going to have a floor in the next negotiations of a CBA. We're going to have a floor. I believe we're going to have a cap, too. I think we're going to have a range. It's not going to ever be equal. The big markets are always going to have more money. But I think the players clearly understand that the other sports are getting more revenue than the baseball teams are. The NFL and NBA players are getting more of a share than baseball players are. That's not right. The players at the very least should be getting 50% of the revenues, and they're not right now. And so one of the ways you have to fix it, you got to have a floor. You got to make Miami and Pittsburgh, and you got to make these teams spend. And you don't want to be in a position where you have to spend all at once. All of a sudden you get a new CBA and you got to spend at once. So you might as well the year prior start to spend a little bit. Let the Marlins spend $13 million on Fairbanks. Let the Pirates spend a little money on Lau and O'Hearn and start to get that up a little bit now instead of waiting. And at the same time, some of the big market teams that haven't spent a lot of money, some of them, some have, but some haven't. Some of those teams don't want to be a runaway train right now, not knowing what this next CBA is going to look like.
Okay, you can talk about the Red Sox and Yankees not signing a free agent. That's fine. We get it, Jim. It's okay. You can say their names. We understand. But again, it goes back to this though. The Pirates obviously have money. So why? I get now because of the CBA. But is it just because they have Paul Skeens and just because they have Chandler and just because they have Jared Jones and Mitch Keller? Is that why? Now all of a sudden they're like, oh, look, we have to do something? Or has the fan noise and the clamoring at Bob Nutting and the Pirates front office finally got to them? I get the CBA side of it, but as a fan, and I know their opening day payroll is still similar to where it was around last year, but still, aren't they like the fans finally won one here because the Pirates are somewhat trying?
Yes, the fans have won. The clamor was heard. And by the way, Ben Cherington's voice was heard in Bob Nutting's office. Remember, Ben Cherington won a world championship as a GM of the Boston Red Sox. Spent a lot of money there. He understands what it takes to win a championship. He's not over in Pittsburgh telling Bob Nutting, don't spend money. He's in that office. He wants to keep his job. He doesn't want to have the reputation of being a non-competitive GM. So he's in there screaming and yelling. And look, it's not like the Pirates have gone out and spent big money, but they did make the big offer on Schwarber. Okay, it wasn't big enough, but they did do that. But at least they are making moves and getting better. So, did Bob Nutting wake up on the other side of the bed? I don't think so. But I do think the clamoring and the noise and the baseball argument that our starting pitching is that good if we can score runs, I think that's resonating. And I think the Pirates are tired of all the hatred from fans. They're tired of fans not coming to the ballpark when Paul Skeens isn't pitching. So they've had a fun offseason, and I think we should be celebrating it rather than complaining about what they've done in the past. Let's just celebrate what they've done this offseason, Yins in Pittsburgh, and let's buy Primanti Brothers sandwiches that don't taste good with the fries and coleslaw, but we can all pretend they do. And Iron City beer that's terrible, we can pretend it's good for at least one offseason. Let's just do it.
Wow. Shots across the river. I mean, they always play the cannon. I mean, Jim just went down the river and was shooting cannonballs into Pittsburgh. I like it, though. Anyway, let's get to your list of most improved teams from this offseason. Number one on your list. I don't know if it's number one in your power rankings of most improved, but it's the Orioles, who always go out and get offense in the offseason, and it didn't work last year. Have they done enough without, because your caveat in the article said Valdez or Ranger Suarez, have they done enough, and are they a better team just because they're hoping some of their pitching is going to come back in Bradish and Trevor Rogers is going to continue his second half resurgence?
Okay, I want to start on the offensive side with the Orioles, adding 74 home runs with Pete Alonso and Taylor Ward. That changes this offense without a doubt. I believe both players are legitimately that kind of power, and I think the Orioles should expect that kind of power from both of them. And so it's the force multiplier with those acquisitions that gets me excited about the Orioles, because the force multiplier to me is the fact that that's going to take the pressure off Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westberg, Colton Cowser, Sam Basayo, Adley Rutschman. It takes all the pressure off of them. I think it's going to make them better offensively, and that core is really good, and they've never reached their potential. I talked to Craig Albanese, the manager of the Baltimore Orioles, yesterday morning, and he said that he looked at the force multiplier more about games played. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, Alonso and Award, they play every day. And he said, I want all these young Oriole players to see you're supposed to play every day. And they're going to set that example. And he said, I think that's going to help the young Oriole players want to play hurt more. I like the depth they have. I like the fact that on the benches, Kobe Mayo or Ryan Mountcastle or Tyler O'Neill if he's not starting, or Dylan Beavers if he's not starting. They have built really good depth at every position. They're prepared for injuries, and I think their offense is going to be one of the best offenses in the American League in 2026. I think the young core is going to take a huge jump forward and have just as much impact as the acquisitions of Alonso and Ward. Now I'll get to the part of, can they contend? Can they be an October team? It depends if they're done with their pitching, which they can't be. That's the biggest question. It will continue to be the big question. If I'm them, I'm getting Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez. Now, they're not going to do both, but I think they are going to do one. It doesn't sound like it's Valdez from my sources. It sounds like it's Ranger Suarez, and it sounds like they have been very aggressive and are strongly in. They haven't been able to close the deal, but they kind of feel like they have a chance. We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to be the question about how far Baltimore goes. It's not going to be about the lineup, the offense or the defense. It's going to be how far can the pitching come. And also, what can they do at the back end? Look, I like the Helsley and Kittredge signings, but why was Helsley's fastball hit so hard last year? Was that release point? Was that arm angle that needs to be adjusted? We know it's a wipeout breaking ball. We get that. But he's going to have to figure out that fastball so it's not so hittable. Can Helsley come back and be the impact closer he was in St. Louis? He didn't look good with New York. Was that a New York thing? Was that a mechanical thing? I don't know. But pitching is going to determine what Baltimore can do. Look, right now, I still probably have them in fourth place in the AL East. But if the pitching comes through, if Rogers is the real deal, if Kramer comes back, Bradish comes back, you sign Ranger Suarez, then can I see this team in the postseason in October? Yeah, they got a chance.
Oh, that's a lot of ifs, though, Jim. A lot of ifs. Like, since you're crapping on Pittsburgh today, not the team, the city, did you see the game last night where the priest blessed the field and then the guy for the Ravens missed the field goal? Like, did USC try that against TCU, or did they forget to bring the priest in?
They forgot, but the Pirates should bring the priest in and see if it can work for baseball too, right? I mean, without a doubt. And by the way, I have a son that lives in Pittsburgh. I spent years in Pittsburgh. I started my baseball career there, so I love Yins. I love the Monongahela and the Ohio. Look, that is a great ballpark. I enjoy it. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just talking real, and I'm glad that they're doing things to try to win. Now, in terms of Mike Tomlin, never had a losing record all these years, and he won 10 games with that team. He is simply amazing. And by the way, why not give the ball to Derrick Henry? Have him run a little bit to the left so you can set up that field goal on the hash mark instead of straight shot. That would have gone through for a field goal. I don't understand why they didn't run one more play with Derrick Henry. I thought it was foolish, but congrats to the Steelers.
He's a football expert.
Yeah, and he forgot the USC thing, so it's fine. TCU.
USC, great 2 transfers today. Devin Bryant, the linebacker. Jontez Williams, the cornerback, the best cornerback probably in the portal. Both of them going to USC. And they got Terrell Anderson today, the wide receiver from NC State. So a big, big day for USC football. Thanks for bringing that up, AJ.
And for the GM, Chad Bowden.
That's right.
For anyone who doesn't know the context there. JB, great long catch up. We needed it. Happy New Year to you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That's Jim Bowden. A little bit of coaching news today. Let's start with Don Mattingly officially joining the Philadelphia Phillies coaching staff as the bench coach for Rob Thompson. You like it, Kratz? We talked about it a little bit, a few weeks ago, and now it's official. John Heyman also pointed out that, he's got a long-standing, great relationship with Topper, but also an excellent relationship with Bo Bichette, though he did mention that coach on the bench doesn't usually determine how a 9-figure free agent signing is going to go down.
I mean, does this mean that the Phillies have no chance of winning the World Series because Donnie Baseball just has not won it? I mean, he couldn't have come closer. Like, there was no tougher image than Bo Bichette patting Donnie Baseball on the back after they lost. Like, does this mean the Phillies aren't going to win, or does this mean this is it? The years that Topper knew Donnie Baseball when he was with the working for the Yankees, like, is this the opportunity? Because of the bench coach? Like, let's not blow up what a bench coach does, but he's going to be an awesome bench coach. The fact that you have a dude who probably should be managing in the big leagues, you saw what he helped John Schneider do in some way or fashion. I think he'll help Topper too.
He also knows the GM fairly well in Philly.
Dombrowski?
No, his son. Isn't his son the GM?
Oh, the GM. Right. Preston.
Isn't Preston the GM?
Forgot about that.
Yeah, I think he has a pretty good relationship with him, maybe also.
They have this coincidence where they both have the same last name.
Yeah, so it's weird, Scott. They're
So
trying
weird.
this new thing where they work together, but they have the same name.
Wow.
Hey, Dad, do you want a job?
That's good.
But
I
I thought he was retiring. Didn't he say he was retiring after the Blue Jays?
No.
He just said he
he
was
did.
stepping away, or
That was Mike Schilt retiring and then
not retiring.
Right, and then not retiring. Mattingly didn't retire.
wait,
He
what is
said-
Schilt doing? Did I miss something with Schilt?
Yeah, he got a different job. Not
As
a
what?
manager job, but he's doing something.
Isn't
he in a front office consulting or
Oh,
something?
shoot.
Orioles.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that. Sorry.
Yes.
We got to get him on at some point. You got to
Special assistant to
the lowdown on the next job. To the
special
regional manager.
assistant to snaking Albernez's job. Watch out, Albernez! Watch out, Craig!
No, stop
No.
it. Stop it. Don't even say that. Don't
Craig's
even
like,
joke about it.
I just got here. Listen, there's no way a guy like Schilt can't not be in baseball. Like, this guy is, when you talk to him, he just exudes baseball coaching and like front office. Like, for him to not have a job, he must, like, I was like, there's no way he doesn't get a job somewhere. And sure enough, he lands with the Orioles. He's going coast to coast. He went Midwest for years. Then he went to the West Coast. Now he's going to see what the East Coast April is like.
More interesting, Daniel Vogelbach signs not as a player, but as the hitting coach for the Milwaukee Brewers. Who saw that coming?
Didn't he do something? He worked for the Mets or somebody last year, didn't he? As an assistant hitting. Wasn't he the Mets guy? Because I remember seeing him.
He was. I don't want to say
he was on the field.
Guy.
I know that. He was on the He was co-hitting coach of the Mets. Because I know he was on the field, and I know Chavez was there, who was there, and then I thought he was like his assistant or something.
I don't know what he was, but he was definitely in uniform. I mean, immediately after he was done playing. So, yeah, this is the next step. I mean, dudes love. He might coach first base sometime too. Maybe. I mean, he's an ex-All-Star dude. Dude could rake, and he's just got that. I don't know. The Brewers, they know who they're hiring, but man, being a hitting coach in the big leagues, not very secure of a job. Let's put it that way.
True. He's a co-hitting coach, by the way, with the Brewers. Mets,
there's a hitting coach and there's assistant. I saw that. But Mets, he was on the field. But the thing about a hitting coach now is every guy has their own hitting coach that they call. Like whether it's a guy from high school or college or some guru they think knows everything. Like the hitting coach now just has to coordinate all the hitting coaches. 20, what do they have? 13 hitters on your team. You got to coordinate all the 13 private hitting coaches into one thing to try to make the team work. Like it's crazy how everybody has their own guy. There was a big article I saw not long ago on Schwarbers. He has Kevin Long in his dugout every day. He's one of the best in the world, and he's got his own guy. They did an article about how Kyle Schwarber calls this guy that tells him about his bats. What about Kevin Long? He's pretty good.
Schwarber's been working with that guy since 2017, I think. So that's his private guy. And
that's
then
what
he's
I'm saying.
His team guy.
The hitting coach job now is to meld what the private guy says and what the hitting coach of your team actually thinks. So their job is way harder than what it used to. You know what they're saying about a hitting coach used to be? You know when hitting coaches do their best work? At the hotel bar after the game. That was when the hitting coach made his money. Because everyone's sitting there and, I'm 0 for 12. Hitting coach is like, well, let's have another beer. And like, you're not that bad. Now, nobody goes to the hotel bar to have a beer. So you can't even have that anymore. You got to just sit there in the cage all day. And I remember having a conversation with Brett Boone about it. He's like, we're facing a guy that has a 6 ERA. We're in August. He's like, how about we go treat this guy like he has a 6 ERA in August instead of worrying about his fastball ride and his vertical break and his horizontal this and that. He's like, it's August. This guy has a 6 ERA. Let's go pound this guy.
Well, do you want to hear what the coaching staff layout is now for the Brewers? Jason Lane was the third base coach. Now he's been promoted to offense and strategy coordinator, who works with Erik Thiessen, who is now the lead hitting coach. And then there are the co-hitting coaches below him, Guillermo Martinez and Daniel Vogelbach.
Who's the third base coach then?
Someone else, I guess.
What happened to Ricky Weeks?
He's still there. He's the
bench coach.
Oh, Eddie. Ricky is the bench coach, but they call him the associate.
No, I think he left.
Oh, he left? Man, I can't keep up with all this stuff.
I think I remember seeing something like that.
Matt Erickson is the Brewers' third base coach. Anyway, let's get back to the free agent board and trade conversations. Guest is Retty. Batter up. Chris Kirschner is joining us, writes for The Athletic, and put out a good little article yesterday that we're about to dive into. Chris, great to have you on here. And we called you as soon as we could when we saw the article you put out with Ken Rosenthal about the Yankees' interest in Edward Cabrera, but they're not the only ones. What else can you tell us?
Yeah, so the Yankees do have interest in Edward Cabrera with the Marlins, as Ken and I reported yesterday. A couple of other teams are also in the mix, the Mets and the Cubs. But last month at the winter meetings, Brian Cashman told reporters that he would, quote, love to add another starting pitcher. As you guys probably know, and everybody watching, the Yankees are going to be without Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Clark Schmidt to begin the season as they recover from their respective elbow surgery. So the Yankees rotation right now is pretty thin, and that's not even mentioning, the guys that they currently have on their rotation who are coming off of career highs in workloads. Max Fried, Rodon is one of those guys too, Will Warren and Cam Schlittler. So the Yankees are definitely in the hunt for a starting pitcher, Cabrera is one of them. And Ken and I also reported in that same article that they are still talking to the Milwaukee Brewers about Freddy Peralta.
Have they come off any of their previous statements from previous off seasons or even trade deadlines of like, can't have Spencer Jones, can't have Jason Dominguez? Because each year that these players don't have the all-star season, does it make them less valuable to other teams or less valuable to the Yankees where they could trade them? Have there been any words on those types of players and their other prospects?
Well, they've had previous discussions about both of those guys at trade deadlines and off seasons, Dominguez and Jones. They also remain in the mix to re-sign Cody Bellinger. And if they re-sign Bellinger to a long-term contract, one of those guys is likely going to be out of the picture. It wouldn't be a surprise at all to see either Dominguez or Jones get traded. I probably would not think that either of those guys would be included in a possible Cabrera deal. But, with Peralta being a frontline starter, it would not be a surprise at all to see either Dominguez or Jones in a package to land Peralta. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I would not be stunned at all if one of those guys is not in the Yankees organization by the start of spring training.
Wow, that's a big thing. But what about a free agent? The Yankees haven't. When are the Yankees going to make a splash in free agency? Hal Steinbrenner said they have no money, and they haven't gone out and gotten a Tucker or a Bellinger or anybody. I know they've re-signed some of their guys, but when are they going to make that Yankee splash? Because they're one of the teams that hasn't really made a splash that we expect to.
Yeah, I mean, the Athletic paid for me to go to Orlando, and I had nothing to really write about.
You didn't even say hi. You didn't even say hi. You didn't even say hi to us.
I'm sorry. Next time. But yeah, I mean, the Yankees are the only American League East team to not make a notable external addition this offseason. They've seen the Blue Jays get much better. They just signed Okamoto over the weekend. They remain in the mix to sign Kyle Tucker. But yeah, I mean, the Yankees are, their main priority, which is what they've been saying publicly, is to re-sign Cody Bellinger. They've not made that a secret. If they add one of these starters in Cabrera or Peralta, I think that would be a really nice move for the Yankees, but it's probably not satisfactory to, the Yankee faithful. They are hoping that they get much better from what they were this past season. And, they got eliminated in the ALDS by the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays had their number all season. You would think that the Yankees would try to make bigger moves, but one thing that they've been very clear about basically since the season ended, both Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone, is they think this roster is good. They have the same record as the Blue Jays. Do I think that they're as good as the Blue Jays? I don't, but I'm not getting paid to make those kinds of decisions. They feel like they have a good roster, and we'll see if they're correct in 2026.
Does the didn't even really push hard on Imai? Is it more indicative of who they're actually going after for starting pitching, or more about what Imai was going to bring to the table? And because the price really wasn't that high, and I thought he was probably, if they thought he was the big fish for them, as Cashman has said before, our white whale, then they would have gone after him and gotten him based on how much pitching they're going to need for the first 3 months of the season.
Well, I think the industry said what they thought of Imai with that contract that he signed. I certainly thought that he was going to get more money than what he ended up signing with the Astros, 3 years, $63 million. I did have multiple people with the Yankees early in the offseason express their interest in Imai. Obviously, they ended up not feeling similarly at the end when it came time to sign him before his posting window expired. But I definitely thought that it was a worthy person for them to go after, especially considering the price. If he can realize his potential, that's a steal for Houston. And, it's definitely That organization has done a really good job of developing pitching over the past several years now. But I was certainly surprised that they didn't go after Imai. But if they end up getting a Cabrera or Peralta, both of those guys have shown that they can do well on the major league level. We have no idea what Imai is going to look like. Obviously, we have some idea just with how advanced the data is now over in Japan. But I was definitely very, very surprised that they ended up passing on him, especially at the number that he signed at.
Okay, you brought up Jason Dominguez, and the other big name is Spencer Jones with the Yankees. Which one of these do you think they find more valuable? Jason Dominguez has gotten some at-bats in the big league. Spencer Jones hasn't really gotten that opportunity. So which one of these do you think the Yankees find more valuable and would be more reluctant to trade for a player that they might desperately need, like you said, because their rotation is thin at the moment?
I've heard mixed reviews from their own organization regarding Spencer Jones. So just that alone, I would imagine that they feel that Dominguez has more value long term. Also, you have to take into account that Dominguez is only 22 years old and he already has major league experience. He didn't have the season that I think many people expected him to have. He went into the year with a starting role basically guaranteed in left field. We did not know that Trent Grisham was going to end up having the season that he had, and he ended up taking Dominguez's playing time essentially with him in center and then moving Bellinger to left field. So we didn't expect that, but he was still a slightly above league average hitter this past season, Dominguez. So I think he certainly has potential. He obviously has to get better defensively. He was a disaster in left field, one of the worst overall outfielders defensively this past year. Like if he doesn't get better, then you wonder just where he's going to fit long term. But with him being 22, Spencer Jones being 25, striking out nearly 33% of the time in the minor leagues this past season, I think it's pretty obvious that Dominguez has more value long term.
Bo Bichette, the Yankees have said that they were talking to him or have reached out. Is that more of a make sure the next team, the Blue Jays, or if the Red Sox have to pivot to him, pay the most? Or is it something that there could be a fit with other things moving around if Bo Bichette were to sign with the Yankees?
Well, if Bellinger is their number one priority, I do not think that they would be getting both Bellinger and Bichette. It would be likely that Bichette would be a backup option if Bellinger goes elsewhere, which I am not expecting. I do think that eventually the Yankees and Bellinger will agree to a new deal. But I've heard that the Yankees' interest in Bichette is really not even that solidified. Yes, they've checked in. The one thing I will say about checking in on free agents is it is the job of the general manager to check in on everybody that's out there. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily 100% interested in that player or going to sign them. But, Brian Cashman is not doing his due diligence if he doesn't check in to see where Bichette's market is, which teams might be interested. But, as of today, I don't think that the Yankees and Bichette is a realistic possibility.
Okay, we got to ask about the scouting director or the international, Edgar Mateo, getting dismissed so close to the international signing. What do they call it? Deadline or opening or whatever, the window, whatever it's called right now, right? The period. Yeah, good point, Scott. Period. Yeah. But is this a big deal for the Yankees? Are they looking to go in a different direction? Why do you make this move? You had a whole year basically to do this. Why are they making this move so close to the period?
Yeah, so Edgar was the assistant to Donnie Roland. They got rid of Donnie Roland a few weeks ago now. Donnie had been in the organization for over a decade. But, if you go through the Yankees international free agents in the past several years now, there have been numerous multi-million-dollar misses with the Yankees. They just haven't really executed that portion of their organization as well as they have hoped. Dominguez has been their best international signing, and the jury's still out on what kind of player Dominguez might be. They gave $5 million to Roderick Arias a few years ago, and he doesn't look like he's going to be the kind of player that they thought he would be. So if you go through just, on Baseball America, some of the dollar figures that they have given out over the past several years, there are not many hits for the Yankees. They've signed Carlos Lagrange, who's now one of their top pitching prospects. I believe he got like $10,000 a few years ago. They've hit on some of those guys, like the lower level guys, but when you're talking about international free agency, especially for a team like the Yankees, who's never drafting high in the draft, you have to make sure like that part of your organization is as well as it can be, and it's not. So that's why the Yankees are now in the market for a director of international and an assistant director. As you mentioned, they got rid of Edgar a few days ago, but the timing's not great because the international free agency period opens on January 15th. A few weeks ago, they lost their number one guy. I do not know how to pronounce his last name, Wandy, Asigen, to the Mets. I think he signed for $3.6 million. I know several people in the Yankees organization were very high on his potential, but those are the things that happen when you do make those moves. You look at college football, when coaches go elsewhere, some of those players end up hitting the transfer portal. So it's no different here with international free agency.
Hey, Chris, thanks for jumping on with us. Great article going back to where we started here on the Yankees looking at Cabrera and Freddie P and others. Thanks for joining us, dude.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. That's Chris Kirschner. Check out his work in The Athletic. Hey, it's January, so I think it's time to start telling people about this. Remember last year when we did the BBWAA Awards Gala? It's back. It's back every year for over 100 years, but FT is back as well. Live on the FT YouTube channel, you can see Skeens, Skubal, Otani, Judge, and many more baseball VIPs speaking, accepting their awards. There's great presenters, the whole deal. So make sure you check that out. Saturday, January 24th. Just wanted to let you know about it. You can also get tickets if you want to go in person, but we'll be there and we'll talk about it. Let's hit Hot Corner. Okay, let's start with the Chicago White Sox and their moves that we covered already, but not with this guy. Yes, Murakami signed.
Yeah, Mooney.
Now you get to watch the greatest power slugger in the 21st century for the White Sox, or for obviously in NPB, but now coming over to the White Sox every day, since you watch White Sox games every day.
I can't wait.
Excited?
I tweeted about this.
Adam Dunn.
No, that didn't work out so well. I was there for that first year.
He had a good career though.
He had the worst average. We didn't. I love Adam Dunn. I can't even talk bad about Adam. He's one of my all-time favorite teammates I ever had in my life. But the quote I'll never forget is when he goes, Dunn. The reporter goes, Dunn, why'd you strike out with the guy on first and third and one out? He goes, well, I thought it might hit into a double play, so I figured if I only make one out, it's better, right? Like just things like that he would say. Where I'll never forget. And he had the worst. His first year there, he had the worst average of all time, right? And he needed like 5 more plate appearances with like 3 games to go, and they just didn't play him because they didn't want him to have that official record, right? It was so bad. And the next year, he actually had a pretty good year. Dunner was one of the best teammates of all, so let's not even put him in the same category. But I tweeted about this. And by the way, Murakami, when they signed him, because finally they did something to make people notice them. This is what I've been clamoring about. I did Chuck Garfien at the winter meetings. I did his podcast, and I talked about this, and I got bashed online for saying that they needed to go try and sign Kyle Schwarber. Go get some guys that know how to hit homers and show these other kids how to do it. I know they had a nice second half and all this and that, but if you're going to be serious, then it's time to get serious. And this was a nice first step. Now they need to go out and do a lot of other things, but this was a nice first step. You cannot count on every one of your prospects to be a star. I saw it happen. Listen, Colson Montgomery had a nice second half. He hit a lot of homers, but he struck out a lot, and he hit barely 200, right? Teal, their catcher, pretty good. Kiro, their other catcher, pretty good. Mydroth had in the 6s OPS. No offense to him. Luis Robert, they're paying $20 million. I mean, come on. We've discussed this ad nauseum where we don't even need to talk about it anymore, right? But this is a nice first step. Now, go finish it off. Go sign some real starting pitchers. Trade for some real starting pitchers and continue this. But the thing that got me was what Chris Getz said. That Jerry Reinsdorf had to be talked into this? Yes, if you saw, we talk about this on the show all the time. And I love Jerry Reinsdorf. I've known him forever. I've been to my house, whatever. Had a lot of time with Jerry Reinsdorf. You had to be told that signing an international superstar from Japan would help your ticket sales and your ad sales? Like this, again, is the Shohei Ohtani effect in baseball. If you go get the Japanese guy, the Japanese people will follow. They'll watch. They'll come to the game. They'll buy jerseys. They'll buy signage. Like, yes, if you get better players, guess what? More people come to the games.
They're going to make this back. I mean, this is not the Ohtani contract. This isn't 450.
It's 2 years.
Net present value. This is again, 2 years, 34 mil.
Listen,
so I think they were like, hey, we like this guy. We think we should sign him. And I don't even think it'll cost you anything. We might actually profit off a signing like this. That's what's been happening lately with Japanese players. And he's like, okay. And we could show the tweet, too, that plays this out. Sam Phelan, who covers them, said, in 3 days since the Sox signed Murakami, this was a couple weeks ago, season ticket sales skyrocketing. Team getting national attention. Social media pages popping off. International fans getting familiar with the White Sox brand. Spend money, make money. And I'll just add this. Spend money, make money internationally right now. Especially with
in Japan.
Mm-hmm. And this guy's a star.
But you see the last line. Hopefully Jerry learns a lesson from this. What I can't figure out is Jerry is very smart still. He's 88-ish, 89. He's still mentally very sharp. I saw him at the winter meetings. He's very sharp. He's still there. Okay? But he should have known that he's owned this team for 40 years plus years now. Like they took this to figure out, like if you got internationally, especially, right? Like I don't know that was to me the biggest thing. Like I love the signing personally. I really do love this signing. I think it's a great signing. And if he becomes anything, they're going to make money hand over fist for this signing. Okay, so that was the surprise when Getz said me and Brooks Boyer, who's basically the number 2 in command of the White Sox behind Jerry for marketing and for everything else that he needs done, had to go to him and say, hey, Jerry, if we do this, we can get money from the international media, international sponsors. And he's like, okay, wow. Like, yeah, like that was the thing to me. Like, let's go White Sox, finally.
Yeah. I good. I don't know. I'm glad they signed him. It's not the White Sox winning window. How does this affect the young guys? I just think it puts another guy out there that, hey, you know what? We're not afraid to sign some money. You know, you want the White Sox to – I don't think they're at the point where they would do the Jason Worth type of contract and go out and get somebody that's like, okay, now we're going to bring in free agents. So this isn't that type of contract. But at $17 a year – I'm good with it, especially if he can hit some dingers. Like, everybody loves dingers.
It's 2 years, Kratzy. That's not a big commitment. It's not a 10-year. It's 2 years. It's literally 2 years. Like, this is fine. You try it out and see if it works. And you know what? He might hit 40 homers for you the next 2 years. And guess what? Then you can re-sign him again. And then he might hit 40 more for you for the next 5 years. And by the way, Justin, I love you in the chat. But Sean Newcomb and Jared Kelenic signings, they don't move the needle. I'm sorry. I played with Sean Newcomb. Jared Kelenic has not panned out the way people. There you go. You want to talk about prospects that don't become superstars? Remember, he was supposed to be the future. Seattle, New York, he got traded. They were like, oh my gosh, we traded Kelenic?
Remember, Brody Van Wagenen got destroyed for that when he was running the Mets front office? They were like, oh, how could you trade their top prospect for Edwin Diaz?
It worked out all right.
Edwin Diaz was
a
stud for the Mets.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, that's the perfect example. And listen, Anthony Kay, I like the signing. New guy, right? Sean Newcomb, $4.5 million, not a bad signing. I mean, he's not going to move the needle, though, for anybody. You know, he's
helps
not
their bullpen a lot, though.
Yeah, true.
Actually, he's going to get a chance
he's
to
probably
start.
Gonna be a starter,
but if that doesn't happen, then he'll go back to the bullpen.
But I mean, those aren't the types of moves that really push you to the next level. They're nice, they're little pieces, but at some point, again, you got to go for the big names. The teams that win get the big names. Stars shine in October.
People were excited to get your thoughts, and I think your thoughts are very positive.
I love this signing. I absolutely love this signing.
And he signed for way less than people thought.
Yeah, because there's some people that aren't sold on him because he doesn't have a high batting average against high velocity. You know what he's in there for? Hey, listen, dude, go hit me 35 to 40 homers. That's the game now. I don't care if you strike out 200 times. Go hit me 35 to 40.
How many does it take for him to win Rookie of the Year? We talked about it one of the days you were gone, one of the 100 days you were gone. But like, if he hits 35, is he slam dunk Rookie of the Year? If he hits 210,
well, I mean, not if there's a Nick Kurtz out there that goes out and has one of the greatest rookie years of all time. I mean,
right?
I don't know who else. I don't know who else. You never know. There could be somebody from an organization that just blows up. If he hits 40 homers, he's probably going to be Rookie of the Year.
Right.
If he hits 35 to 40 homers, probably going to be Rookie of the Year. It's hard to find a rookie. I mean, unless Pete Alonso. Remember Pete Alonso hit 57 his rookie year, or whatever that crazy number was.
Was it?
Whatever he hit that year, he broke Judge's record. Remember
and Judge his rookie year too, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Unless you have someone that kind of does that.
Trout.
Yeah, Trout, someone like that. I don't know. I just think I think 35 to 40 gets it done.
My thing with the whole can't hit fastballs and all that stuff, I played in 2019 with Cody Ponce, and I'm trying to think who else was there. Joe Adell. For Team USA, we played against the Team Samurai, the Japanese all-star team that goes to all the WBC, went to the Olympics, all that stuff. We played against them in Japan. It was the exact same thing. A lot of these guys couldn't hit fastballs, but you could see they were making adjustments. Seiya Suzuki was on that team. He's done pretty decent and made adjustments. Okamoto was on that team. A lot of these guys were on those teams that I played against. And yes, they don't do well, but as AJ would say, a lot of good hitters, a lot of big league hitters are okay with having a deficiency if they never miss the ones that they're looking for. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Murakami's that guy. I'm just saying I think people are too oh man, he can't hit over 93 or 94 miles an hour, whatever that stat was. Well, they're not just going to keep pumping him with 10 straight fastballs. And if they do, I have a feeling a big league hitter from another country is going to make the adjustment. And on a team like the White Sox, they're going to be playing from behind. Teams aren't just going to be like, ooh, I'm super scared of this guy. I'm going to pitch around him. I think they're going to go after him. And that's why I think he's going to get his 30 to 35 homers.
We all love it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of downside here. The downside is, okay, he's not a super productive long-term player and not worth locking in for 5-7+ year contract. And that's fine. Then you got 2 years out of him. You got a lot of pop on a team that's not making the playoffs right now anyway. It's a rebuilding team. And
it's a great signing.
Puts butts in seats,
but
and the upside's high.
I'll say this. Listen, and Kratz knows this. How many guys have you seen that were Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez? I go back to my time with the White Sox. Gordon Beckham. Okay, it was the 9th overall pick, and I love Gordon Beckham. Right, great guy, good friend of mine, still to this day. He went out his first year and had a unbelievable first half of his career. Right, and the White Sox overhyped him in the offseason. He was doing a million things, and then he never had that same success again. Now, what the cause for that was, I don't know. Okay, he had a nice career, but he never became the star. Right, that's what you worry about when you see guys. And I hope and pray it doesn't happen to Montgomery and Teal and Kiro and Maidroth and all these guys, right? But now they have Benintendi, they have Murakami, they have at least a couple guys around that. I know Murakami hasn't played in the big leagues, but at least he's played in big games and he's hit home runs and he can show some of these younger guys how to do it. And that's what you need. You need guys around that can keep guys on their toes and ready and teach them how to be Major League Baseball players.
Right. You can't just have a team full of kids. It
doesn't work.
No. You need the blend. Every good team has a blend. That's always what happens. Okay, let's get to a baby signing from the weekend. Paul DeJong, still going strong. A minor league contract with the Yankees with the Major League invite to camp. If he makes the team, he gets $1 million. Last year, he signed for a 1-year deal for $1 million. So this is insurance to have more options for Anthony Volpe. Last year it was the deal with the Nationals for $1 million. This year it's with the Yankees. Remember, Volpe is going to start late to his season. And to me, this is just another statement from the Yankees that they believe Volpe is going to be their shortstop. So they're just, they've got Caballero, they've got DeJong if he makes the team. Can Rosario play some short? Maybe.
I mean, he has.
Yeah. So you've got those guys to fill in for a month and change, and then Volpe comes back and they hand the keys back to him. For fans that desperately want them to go find a shortstop, it does not appear to be
they love Volpe.
In the cards. They do. They love him. Why are you smirking?
Because Twitter, while AJ was in Africa, Yankees Twitter was eviscerating me and comparing my baseball reference page to A-Rod's baseball reference page about my comments that, you know what? Volpe's been more productive than Dansby Swanson at this point in his career. So maybe let it play out. We'll see. I mean, it could be worse. To me, I like the signing. You have Caballero. I think Caballero will play more than Paul DeJong. Paul DeJong, of course. He came off of hitting a 24 home run season, and he only got $1 million from the Nats. To do what? Maybe be there in case of C.J. Abrams kind of thing. Like, I really like this. He's a professional player. You never heard anything bad about him. Did you play with him, AJ, or was he not there quite yet? He's probably
DeJong was younger, but he played third base for the Nats last year, so I forget. And did okay. And by the way, I just want to mention this. I didn't see all this on Twitter because I was just in a country, Tanzania, that doesn't allow Twitter. So you can't even go on X, Twitter. It doesn't do anything. So as soon as you land in Tanzania, it's nothing.
That's weird.
It's nothing
for Tanzania.
You can't even. It doesn't do anything. My son was like, "How am I going to get my Bears news?"
No Twitter trolls in Tanzania.
There are definitely no Twitter trolls. It's Twitter, and there's another one that there's two of them that are banned.
TikTok.
Social media platforms are banned.
Yeah, because of
it could be TikTok.
No, it wasn't TikTok. Because TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, there was like 5 of them that agreed to whatever the terms were that Tanzania needed them to, so they would still allow them. But I guess because it said Twitter allows nudity on their app, X.
Oh.
So they said that's why. And also because they said there was people protesting against the leaders of Tanzania. I don't know, whatever. And they wanted to make sure that they were censored. I don't know. It was a long whole thing. But when I landed, I was like, oh, let me check my Twitter and see what's happening. And it didn't do anything. And I was like, wait, what the hell's happening here? This is really strange.
Crazy that they can just
turn it off. People were wishing me happy birthday on Twitter. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't see these until I got back to a country that allowed Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Can't check
Sherpas.
it.
Yeah. The Sherpas don't get Twitter.
No, Sherpas do not.
One more thing, because I think this will play well into our next guest. John Heyman wrote, congratulations to the Carolina Panthers for reaching the playoffs with an 8-9 record. If MLB ever had a team in the postseason with a .471 winning percentage, they'd never hear the end of it. And there were great comments because there were tons of football fans going after him, but then there were baseball fans countering. That would be the A's or the Braves this past season making it to the playoffs.
This happens a lot in football.
76 win. Yeah, it happens in football, but he was just saying there would be uproar in baseball. And I do agree. I think there would be uproar.
83-win 2006 Cardinals won the World Series.
But they were above 500. And that's the one example that was brought up. The other examples were crap. People were bringing up a ton of 2020 examples, like Brewers and Astros. I'm like, 2020, really?
Games.
And then also the week one that I saw from many, they were like, there are plenty of stretches where teams go 8-9 in baseball. I'm like, that is completely irrelevant. Like just the dumbest comment.
That would be like a football team going 1-2, not even. Let's see, 17. That's about a tenth. So that'd be like a team going 1-1, 0-2, and they're like, oh no, they can't make the playoffs because they went 0-2.
They
every
just
10 games,
had no idea what we're talking about. Right.
Every 10 baseball
games
is a football.
Well, that means
game.
the Jets. I mean, if they compared the Jets to a baseball team, that'd be like they never make the playoffs ever.
Oof. All right. Well, then you know what?
Right?
It's perfect timing to bring in our next guest who likes that team. Here he is, Vinnie Pasquantino, joining us right
Here I
now.
am.
And we might as well start there, dude. Do you think that how you doing? First of all, how's your offseason? Then I'll get to what we were just talking about.
Going very well. Progressing the way I'd like it to. The football season is over for the Jets, so I can relax now. They got the
By the
number
way,
2 pick, so great.
By the way, do you see what I'm holding up? A 0. Their team had 0 interceptions for the whole year. That's impossible to have. And you have a defensive guy as the coach. How do you have? Sorry, I know this is a baseball show, but they had 0. You would think like a ball would get deflected and somebody would catch one somewhere. But they had
There's a
0.
stat about it's like a stat that said like who am I, and it gave a list of stats that all the quarterbacks combined had, what their numbers were against the Jets. It was like 36 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, like a 13-3 record, 14-3 record. The guy would have won the MVP if you could have just played against the Jets every week. It was pretty embarrassing. Defensive head coach, no interceptions, playing man defense with like 4th string cornerbacks. It was fun to watch. I'm glad it's over.
Where does that equate to baseball? Where does that equate to baseball? Jets?
I talked about it this morning. That exact example would be like having like high A guys come up to the big leagues and not bunt or do anything and just tell them to just go bang. Like it's just not going to happen. It's not that they're bad players. It's just they're not ready for it just yet.
What was the game where the Jets blocked the field goal? Was it the Bucks game? And they thought they were going to win, and Aaron Glenn ran down the sidelines, and then the guy and Baker. Yeah, it was
I
I feel
didn't
you
get to watch that one.
I'm not
which works out because we were still playing, so it's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. The season is long in the rear view now, and we're excited to look forward.
Good.
To tie this into baseball, Vinny, do you think that MLB fans would go nuts if a team made the playoffs with a sub 500 record like we see in football?
Well, fans go nuts for anything. When the 1 seeds make it to the World Series, it's because they spend too much money and they buy the wins. If a 6 seed makes it to the World Series, it's because they didn't have a bye and they were, continuing to play. So it doesn't matter what you do, say, or react to anything, people are going to complain. So you just got to keep moving forward and know that people are going to complain no matter what.
Yes, they will find a way and actually embrace the complaint because it just means that they're passionate and they're fans.
Right. Fanatic, right? Isn't that the definition of fan is fanatic? They just go crazy for everything, as they should.
Yes. Well, on that topic, I mean, obviously you're a big deal in Kansas City and you love Kansas City, but maybe you love Kansas City too much now. I think we have the video of this. So it sounded like you were adopting a real football team temporarily, and then that didn't work out for you either. This is you on FS1 saying that you're officially a Chiefs fan, and I was told that since you did that, they went 3-8. We're not superstitious. We're not blaming the Chiefs' destruction on you, but is it disheartening to adopt a new team that then falls apart?
Look, all you can do is go with the data that has been provided to you. And me being a fan of your team is bad news. I have supported the Chiefs for years, gone to plenty of games, gone to many playoff games, but this was the first year that I publicly, like on national TV, said I'm all in on the Chiefs. And this is what happens. So I would not want me to root for your football team, basically publicly. So,
Right.
yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough. I'd like to just see some winning football for a team that I like, and it's going to happen one day. I'm going to keep the faith, and we just keep the faith.
2 things: get the priest that blessed the field for the Steelers last night to come to the Jets and just bless their locker room, maybe. And second of all, can we show that clip again? I want to know who has the worst look, you or Nick Wright in that video, because you have you're going for the Nick Wright haircut and look there in this video. Like what's happening there?
I wish I would have tied my hair up that day. I didn't realize how to the side it looked. I thought like when I left makeup, it was back, and then I guess I had shook my head or something, and it completely moved to the side. Not my best look, but as you can see, I cut my hair, rectified the situation. So we're going short hair now. Don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, but isn't Strom going to be pissed that you were on the same show as him? It looked like Matt Strom, and now you guys got him back with the Royals. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Is he going to have to cut his hair? Like, is that a Royals thing this year? Like, are you guys all Samson locks are getting taken off?
India cut his hair, so he's got short hair now. I've got short hair now. So Strom is the only one that I can think of that has long hair. So yeah, he'll have to adjust. Maybe we're gonna become the Yankees and um, short hair. We'll do what we did in the minor leagues: short hair, no beard, wear your socks up.
Pants
Just go
up,
back
yeah.
to nothing but rules. Yeah, just as many rules as humanly possible. We're gonna do.
Is that why Quatraro got an extension? Because he said no TV, no fun, all rules, cut your hair, and then they signed him to a 3-year extension with an option. I mean, is that why? Is that
Yeah,
what they needed?
that's right. We just, yeah. He also came out. I just saw before I got on the show. I checked my Twitter. He told me that I called him and told him you're welcome. Uh, that is not how that conversation went at all. He goaded me into telling him you're welcome. I said congrats, and he's like, "Oh, really? I should be saying thank you to you." And I said, "Yeah, okay, you're welcome." So that was a good thing.
Wow.
That was a good thing to see. It sounded like I called him. It was like, "Hey, man, you're welcome. Congrats on
Now,
all the
actually, that
on
is
the extension you just got."
what you actually should have done. You should have been, you're welcome for my second half. So therefore, now I'll take a little cut of that pay raise you just got.
Nice
So
dinner.
Yeah, but if
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
gonna say you're welcome for my second half, I better apologize for my first half. So that's why I just stay out of all those conversations.
Yeah. We've got Q later this week, so we'll talk to him. Actually, it's a big
I've
deal for
got
me
Q
that he
tomorrow.
withdrawn
Q's
from
coming
the
to
team.
see me tomorrow. So you guys have him this week. I have him tomorrow. We'll see how that goes.
where
Okay.
are
He's coming to
you?
watch me
Where are
work
you
out.
located?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
He's going to
So
watch you work
he's
out?
not really, he's not really coming
Yeah,
to see you. He's really coming to go to Broadway. I mean, let's be serious. It's
he
just an
pretty much. I
excuse.
think he's flying in tomorrow morning and then flying out. So we'll see. I'm going to put him through the ringer tomorrow. I might make him work out too, and
Yeah,
see
what's
what
he going to
see what
do?
he's got.
What's he going to do? Like, is he going to spot you on the bench? Is he going to hold your hips while you back
We'll
squat?
see.
What's happening?
Whatever he can handle, we're going to find out. I might make
Yeah.
him hit some fungos. We'll see.
Are you
Okay,
going
so
to
you're
have
going to
him
go over
call
to
balls and strikes?
Am I going to have him do what?
Call balls and strikes when your dad throws BP to you? Because wasn't
No,
there a little
I don't.
argument the other day with you and your dad?
There, yeah, and objectively speaking, that was a ball. The like the fact that what I almost had a reply like to everybody tweet where I wanted to say this is how this is why players should not look online after games because people have no idea. There were so many people saying strike, so many people saying ball. You can't tell in the video because of depth perception, but there was people calling me like buddy, pal, different derogatory like things to say to somebody, being like, "Take a seat, pal. Grab some pine, buddy." Like, okay, first off, I had to explain we were doing live at bats. Second off, grow up. Don't come. I'm just having a little bit of fun online. Don't need to be mean to me. It's whatever. It was a ball.
That is what happens when you throw things out
You need,
there on that platform.
they need a TrackMan thingy, whatever the Yacker Tech
Mhm.
TrackMan,
Yeah, that's
Hawkeye,
right.
whatever the hell they're all right wherever you're doing that
Well,
BP.
and I have recently dabbled into the world of TikTok. I still don't watch anything on it, but I post videos of me hitting and stuff like that on there. So there's an entire video of us doing live at bats, and the second swing he makes me fall down. He still can't make me swing and miss, but I did maybe slip on the turf on a very slow curveball and fell all the way to my back, which was exciting. But I do have good video that I sometimes post, but that day I was feeling froggy, so I posted some bad video.
I like that, but everyone needs that. So
Yes.
they can look at that and go, look, a big leaguer fell on a swing. I'm
Yeah.
going to make it.
Yeah,
Here we
I
go.
mean, like if the ball crossed home plate where I said it did, which is the picture on the left, and you think that is a strike, which Kratz, you might think it's a strike because you're a catcher, and in live at bats, you guys, oh, you're both catchers. AJ, you're a catcher too. Sorry, you guys call everything strikes in live at bats, so maybe it would be then. But I think the ABS is going to protect me there.
Oh, you're excited about the ABS? AJ's trying to look at it. AJ's like, see, AJ had over 2,000 hits. Yes, he caught, but he's definitely more in the hitters.
I'm just trying to find the ball in that picture. Like, where's the ball? That's why I'm
It's
like,
right
man,
over the outside corner.
The
Yeah.
picture on the left.
No,
If that's
but
where
we're
the
not
ball is, that's
arguing.
a strike, dude. if the
No
ball is,
shot. I mean, it's over the plate. I agree with. It is 100% over the plate.
you
People were
calling it
saying that
high?
too. Yeah,
You
it's
saying it's
definitely
high?
high. 100%
What
high.
was the pin? Was it a fastball, a breaking ball? 'Cause if that's a
Yeah,
breaking
it's
ball, that thing
fastball. No, it's a
definitely
fastball.
touches part of it.
It's a fastball. That's
I
a
mean,
ball. It's up.
get the bat off your shoulder and swing one time. This is the offseason.
Yeah.
This is when you start like expanding your zone one time, Vinny.
That's right. That's what. But the funny part in the video is a lot of people in Kansas City like to rip me because my walk rate has steadily gone down every single year. But in my second or third at bat on the video I posted, I walked and I look at the camera. I'm like, people in Kansas City are going to like that because it's all that matters nowadays, fellas. You look at all the data, you look at all that, just walk. You walk, that increases your floor apparently by a ton. Do a
You
lot of
talk about that
damage,
all the
doesn't
time.
really matter. But
I talk
Sorry.
about that all the time. Walk and steal
No.
bases. Walk and steal bases.
walking
If you
steal
walk,
bases, that's
if
it.
if you steal 10 bases, your WAR goes up like 4 runs just because you stole 10 bases. Even though it could be 15-0 and you're stealing third with 2 outs and they're not watching you, it
I'm
doesn't
trying
matter.
to be
Your
more
WAR goes up.
positive. I'm trying to be more positive, so I don't want to get into war, or else I might have a panic attack talking about it. So,
By the way,
trying to
Eric
be more
Gregg,
positive.
and you know who Eric Gregg is? He said that pitch was not even like close to being a ball. If you saw the '97 game with the Braves and the Marlins with Levon Hernandez, like that was like right down the middle to him that game. So you're like arguing the wrong way here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Shit. Yeah, can't win them all.
Vinny was born in '97. AJ, that game just like he was a baby, like literally a baby in the month of October. So that doesn't apply. That game doesn't apply. But he's probably seen the highlights. But there's highlights of your dad throwing to you. How often have you done that? Because so many times people are like, oh man, I want to take a couple pitches and BP and I just want the ball. Can you just get it right down the middle? How long have you been doing that? And obviously you own your dad because you're a big leaguer and he's not. But how long have you been doing that?
We've been going live like that my entire life. Like, to be honest, I think it's one of the reasons that I'm able to control my swing and miss. Because my entire life we've been doing these at bats where he's trying to make me as uncomfortable as humanly possible. His favorite quote, especially when I'm not hitting well, is "You can't walk your way out of a slump." So he's always like the point of the point of the live at bats is like be aggressive, get your pitch, let it rip, and then get to 2 strikes and just be a prick. So like that's kind of what I learned my entire life with him was um, basically just try to do some damage with less than 2 strikes, and you get the 2 strikes, be a prick. And so the goal he has is always try to beat me 1, but 2, make me swing and miss, which he hasn't done in a few years. And we just have a good time with it. We try to keep it light. We talk a lot of crap to each other. Like there's points where we are yelling at each other, as you can imagine, two strong-minded people trying to get one up on each other. So we have a good time with it. And he lives right down the road now. He's a coach at Spring Hill High School here in Nashville. So he's got a field that we can get to whenever we want. And the weather's been pretty nice, so we get out there. I might text him and try to get out there today and see what I got for him.
Very nice. I love it. My son talks shit to me all the time. He just told me that he could beat me in a home run derby right now. And I said, listen,
No.
son, I haven't touched the bat in like 5+ years.
No.
Actually, you made fun of me because I played for the Savannah Bananas and I hit a ground ball, right? And I hadn't touched the bat for like 5 years, right? And he's like, I'll beat you in a home run derby. And I'm like, listen, you don't want that smoke, okay? You just don't. You never forget how to do it, right? So it's fun. It's fun to have father-son, little shit talking back and forth. I'm all for it. Here's my question for you. You're playing for Team Italy, right, in the WBC this year coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jack
right.
Caglione, is he going to be on that team with you? And can you figure out how to get that gigantic Italian guy to hit? Because he was unbelievable at Florida. Now, can you get him to figure it out with Kansas City, please?
Yeah, we're working on it. So, one, I do believe he's playing on Team Italy. I think it's been confirmed officially, but he's playing. I've been working the phones pretty heavy. So, I'm laughing thinking about some of the people that I've called and things that I've done to try to get them on the team. But it's
well, do tell. Can we get some? Can we get like a?
There's a certain there's a certain young left fielder or right fielder for the Boston Red Sox that I sent a voice memo to. I don't know him at all, sent a nice voice memo too of just describing the situation of him walking up to the plate playing for Team Italy. So
Is that
we're
Roman?
working the phones.
Are we talking about a guy named Roman?
It's a very Italian name. Yeah. So it's going to be a very left-handed hitter lineup. So I'd imagine we will be seeing a lot of left-handed pitchers in the WBC. But we'll see what happens. Ned Coletti's putting together a cool team. So he's working the phones all the time. I'm working the phones all the time, and we're looking forward to breaking some hearts down in Houston. That's the goal.
When do you play there? Wait, what do you know? Do you guys play USA down there in Houston? When is
We
it?
do. So I think
I'm on that call, by the way.
Oh, you are. So March 6th, 7th, 9th, and 10th, we've got, I want to say it's Brazil, the UK, United States, Mexico. So I would imagine it's in the power rankings would be USA, Mexico, and then the three of us right there. Yeah, I don't know how you would rank the three of us, but I'd imagine it's a top two heavy, and then see what happens with the other three, and maybe we find a way to do it again like we did in the last classic, and find a way to advance.
What was the voice memo that you left Roman? Like, how does that go? How does that phone call go? And then second, I want to know, how did you get Mike Piazza fired? Because you guys had a good run, and Mike Piazza's not coming back as manager.
Yeah, Blake Butera was on that staff. Blake was basically the manager of that team.
Because I saw Mike not long ago, and he yelled at me he's like, "Take it easy on my guy Blake Butera," and I was like, "I think he's great. I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
But so now that you say that, now it makes sense why Mike defended him so much.
Yeah, Blake is the man. Piazza's the man too. There was a lot of things that happened at the upper in the front office, so to speak, for Team Italy. So yeah, some things changed, and that's about it. that's all I really know. Some things changed, and now it's a little bit of a different dynamic. But we're really excited about having Ned. We're really excited for Francisco Cervelli to be the manager. I believe Jorge Posada is on staff. He's not Italian, but he's going to be there to help out. So we are excited about the opportunity to go compete with the best.
Make sure that you have a lead against Great Britain before you get to the 9th. Do you know who their closer is?
Yeah, is he playing or what?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't checked recently.
I'm just trying to figure out how Aroldis Chapman gets to Great Britain when he's from Cuba. Like that doesn't make sense. But
tell him no. Who's going to be the one to tell him no?
Yeah, nobody's. He can play for USA, I think, if he wants.
Yeah. Hey, Poppy.
Yeah, exactly. Just bring him out there in the 9th, and he'll finish a game for you. Yeah, we're going to try to hold a lead against the UK, especially, and try to keep him out of the game. That's a good plan.
Exactly. Well, we're looking forward to it, dude. Hey, one other Royals question for you. We saw earlier this offseason, Michael Garcia picked up a nice extension. Can you just tell the world a little bit more about him? Of course, we're a baseball show, so he gets a mention, probably not enough, but what's it like watching him this past year?
Yeah, well, anybody that had played with him knew that was in there. I played with him I played with him in rookie ball, and then in high A, and then a little bit in AAA. So I had seen it, back since 2019. He got all the tools. I mean, because of who our shortstop is. Obviously, we have one. I mean, Michael is an unbelievable shortstop too. So it's awesome to have. I think it would be fair to say we have the best left side in the league. Not to begrudge anybody else, but especially defensively. I mean, 2 Gold Glovers on one side of the field, that's pretty special. So Michael's coming into his own. He got that nice extension there, and he's going to be around for a long time. I mean, you've got 2 guys anchoring the left side of the infield that are each like 25, 26 years old. So future in Kansas City is definitely bright with those guys, and everybody's really happy for him because Michael's the man. He's been working so hard for so many years to try to get something like this and be able to support his family better, and he was able to do it. So we're pumped for him. Can't wait to see. I would imagine this is just going to help him get better. So it's going to be awesome.
By the way, there's 3 things I have for you. One, Next time I see you and I do a Royals game, don't big league me. I know you're watching ODU football last time, but I mean, you wouldn't even look up and say
ODU
hi.
versus
So.
Indiana, I would like to say. Old Dominion versus Indiana, and they took them to the wire in the first half. I don't know. Indiana, number one team in the country. Sorry that I'm locked in on the Monarchs.
I mean, who isn't? I mean, you could have given me 1,000 guesses and I never would have got their nickname. So I'm glad there's one ODU fan. The other thing is, have they had any extension talks with you? And then also, can the Royals compete for the division with the Tigers and the Guardians and, of course, the White Sox this year?
So I guess in order, yes, kind of. Not in a few years. So no, I mean, it depends on how recently you're talking, but yes, to an extent, but not really. And then I think we can compete for the division. And obviously, the goal going into the year is I'd go back and forth on what the goal for going into the season is, other than to win the World Series, because the goal is to just get into the playoffs, right? I mean, you can't win
No,
the
the
World
goal is
Series
to
without
win the
getting
World
into the
Series.
playoffs.
True, but
I'm saying like obviously goal number one, win the World Series, but winning the division, I think, is really important. But I don't really have any reason to say that it's that important, because you get into the playoffs anyway. So I guess the bye is important, but just getting in is the most important thing. But I think there's a lot of pride in winning your division, and that's what we want to do. We want to go through this. Like, we don't really want to play spoiler. We want to be on the other end of that, where it's like, this is our division. We want it. We're going to take it. I've never been in a position to win the division. I'd like to be in that spot. So in 24, I think we had tied for the lead in the division at the end of August, and then went on a little bit of a cold streak, and we're out of it. So and this year we went 82-80, but we kind of got eliminated with a week to go, and then it was just playing for pride at that point. So I think for us, goal one, win the World Series, and then goal two, find a way into the playoffs. But I think like there's a secondary goal in there, which is like, we want to be the kings of the Central. We want to go through the year, win the division, be able to celebrate that, and then, move towards the next goal of winning the World Series. So I think that's just a mindset of, we just want to go in and we want to be consistent every day, do what we need to do, and, look up at the end of the year and we're right where we want to be.
Yeah, but you're not playing the season right now. What do the Royals need to do? What do the Royals need to do? We hear all the, J.J. Piccolo said they need to add slug after the top four in your lineup. It was a little bit of a downfall. How do you approach that question when asked, like, what do you need to add? Because you guys added India last year, but you lost Singer. Talk is, hey, you know what? Maybe you could lose another starting pitcher, if you added some slug. Do you look at it that way? Do you look at it and go, man, I love every one of my teammates, but I would love to see another dude that hits 30 plus like me?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think publicly, and it's what I'm about to say, is I just work here. Hey, I know where I'm going to be in the lineup. I know I'm going to do my job every day, and I know that I need to go be a good baseball player. But I think you look at it and you're like, okay, where are ways that we can improve? And I think every single human being alive has thoughts on where a team or an organization can improve, and you try to find the right mix. It was clear that we were targeting outfield at the end of the season with the moves that we've made. Is it Isaac Collins? Is that how you say his first name?
Yep.
Okay, so it is just Isaac. I heard a different pronunciation of his first name, and I had no idea.
Isak.
No.
I think that's what I heard, was like Isak Collins. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's
like Paredes?
Like
No.
Isak Paredes?
No, it's just
No, that
Isaac.
doesn't know.
Isaac Collins.
It's Isaac.
And,
So Isaac
Yes.
Collins,
it's
Lane Thomas.
Lane Thomas, not Lynette.
Lane Thomas, straight. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. And I also think, and I didn't answer this question, and I'm sorry, but yes, we are working with Jack to unlock everything of his, because it's some of the power that guy has is, it's ridiculous. So it's kind of a funny spot for me, because I'm grooming my replacement, so to speak, as the next few years go on. But I love that role of being a guy that can hopefully help him unlock his potential and clean up on some of the decision making, because I think that was kind of the main point for him, was it was a little bit of over aggression, but I think I'd rather have that at this point of somebody's career than under aggression. He's ready to go up there every time. He's not scared. So for him, it's honing in on the strike zone, honing in on the right, picking your spots to try to do damage versus doing the job in front of you, and just kind of growing him as a player, because he's got all the tools. Now it's just about, okay, you're a few years removed from college now. You've been in the professional system. I just think he got rushed a little bit, but he deserved to be rushed. And I think this year will be a great year for him. Carter Jensen, those are the two young guys that we got right now that I think that are really, going to take that next step forward and help us out a lot.
How much power? I love when I hear players that, like, I don't see on a daily basis, when players are like in awe of somebody else's power. How much power? Compare them to somebody that you've seen.
So,
because we're talking about BP.
So I don't have another person to compare it to, because like Salvi's got ridiculous power, but he doesn't hit outside all the time. I haven't seen a whole lot of other guys hit on the field. But in St. Louis, he was hitting balls off of the grass in center field, like on a line. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, I'm trying my best to just hit the ball out pull side, and he's hitting 2 irons off the grass, like the top of the grass in center field. And we're all just sitting there like, what the heck is going on? This doesn't even make sense. He's got the biggest hands I've ever seen. He's jacked. Like, he's got everything you want. And it'll happen. We're just waiting for it to happen. And when it does, it's going to be special.
AJ's been talking him up for years.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous.
I've known him,
right?
and
Like,
I've known him. I've known his fiance forever. I've known his. So it's I actually
so
ran into him at Florida, Georgia this year. But I don't remember. But I know I saw him. I don't know what was said, but I did talk to him. He was at the. It was weird. I talked to him because he was at the Florida. Florida played Jacksonville on Friday night before in baseball, and he was there at the game. And I was like, why is he? But I guess whatever. He went to see some of his old teammates and coaches. And all
you visit the team and say,
cool.
hey.
It was cool. He is gigantic, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Gigantic. And listen, Vinny, if you ever need somebody to come to Nashville for a couple days and throw to you, or you and Rook, and maybe hit some BP with you guys, work on your swings, I'm available. I'll stay right downtown, maybe in the Gulch. I probably will be on Broadway. I might also I'll be like Johnny Manziel, just not show up to College game day because I was out too late. But at least I was there for a purpose, and I can write it off as a work expense.
Yeah, that's perfect. You do whatever you need to do. Open invitation whenever you want. We'll be there. It's that time to start getting ready. So the vibes are pretty good in our facility this morning. Me, Brendan Donovan, Griff O'Farrell, who's a minor leaguer with the Orioles. We were getting after it. Group 2, Jake Berger, Brandon Lau, Carson DiMartini, who's a minor leaguer with the Phillies. We got some good things going here in Nashville. So it's good. Rooker will be here in a few weeks. It's a fun group to be around BP, and it gets fucking loud in that cage, which is awesome. So it's a great environment, and I love it here. So come whenever you want.
But by the way, I do have a question. Do you take time off after the season before because you're talking about getting after it? It's January 5th. Did you take any time off?
I took a month, maybe. I like hitting, so I just have a good time. Like, I'm not always working on stuff. I just I go out there with my dad or whatever I'm doing. Like, I'm not always working on something. Sometimes I just want to rotate a little bit. So I like golf, but I don't love golf. So I don't get a lot of rotation in unless I'm hitting. So I just like doing it. I probably started hitting 2 weeks or so before Thanksgiving this year, of just kind of getting in there, moving around a little bit. And my body feels phenomenal right now, which I'm happy with. So it's been a slower but longer build for me this year, and a lot of that has to do with the WBC, and I sucked last WBC, and I prefer to be a little bit better this time. So I'm trying to figure out how to not be dog shit the first month of the season. And so I'm hoping maybe hitting a little earlier will help my timing a little bit, so then I could be a tick better in the month of April and this year.
Winter ball.
Don't play winter ball.
Look up my stats. Look up my stats in the Dominican Republic. I don't think they'll have me back. So I got kicked off that island. I got kicked off that island so quick. So if I could just be in July and August all the time, I'd be a pretty good player. Sadly, there are more months to the season than that, and we're working on rectifying those issues and making it better all year round.
Just do what I did. No hit until spring training. Just go the whole off season. Don't pick up a bat until the first day of spring training. I did it many times, and those were some of my best years.
Maybe one day. I don't think I'm mentally tough enough to do anything like that. So I gotta feel somewhat good walking into spring.
No,
Maybe
it
his
made me
final
feel better.
season. His final season.
Because I'd go, no, I would go up there in my first swing of spring training. I'd be like, well, let's see how the season's going to go this year. I rolled it over. I was like, shit.
AJ was living a movie. So you keep doing your thing. You stay on track. Vinny, great to catch up, dude. We're excited for the WBC. We'll catch you soon, okay?
Yep. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Appreciate you. That's Vinnie Pasquantino. FT's got 10 minutes to go. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Peralta is attractive not only to teams like the Yankees and the Mets and the Braves and others who would be classified as big market, but even small market teams can afford him, and they're in the mix as well. Do I expect Peralta to get traded? I would say yes, I do expect that to happen. I expect the Brewers to get pushed to the point where they feel like they're comfortable doing it. And if they get a major league ready starting pitcher in return, they would have some depth in that rotation. They actually already have depth. It's Woodruff, it's Mizorowski, and it's Priester to start that rotation. And then they have a bunch of other candidates that they feel pretty good about. If they got one more, they feel even better, even without Freddy Peralta, who, of course, has been immensely important to that team over the years and coming off arguably his
huge news. Freddy Peralta, will he or won't he go? The latest from Ken sounds like he will be
He's
traded.
going.
That's big.
That is a big. He's a cheap guy. He's making $8 million this
$8
year
million.
for a guy that was unbelievably good last year.
He's a one?
Why would the Brewers do this? I know they can get some players.
He's
for him.
leaving. After this year, he's gone.
Gosh, I know. It just hurts you. It hurts your heart.
He's gone after this year.
If you throw him an extension offer for 5 years, 100, you think he would turn that down?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Just throwing it out there. I know. I'm just saying.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to throw things out there, but if you're going to do that, you have to do it sooner. That's the
I
problem.
know.
They did sign
They
him to an
locked him up.
extension. And I think Freddie would have done another one, but you can't do it with a year to go. I mean, you can, but the number is close to free agent number. If you did it 2 years ago, the number could be attractive.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the whole thing. I mean, I think you can carry guys
So
through.
then where does he get traded? Yankees?
They're definitely trying, but I think almost anyone's trying for Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, for $8 million and
$8 million
production
bucks.
he put up.
Yeah.
White Sox? Hello, White Sox.
I don't think it'll be the White Sox for one season, but a team that's in this year, you got to be in it this year. You think you're winning, you think you're getting to the playoffs and doing damage this year, then you're trading for Freddy Peralta, Kratz, because the asking price is going to be high. He also will get a qualifying offer after this season if he's traded before the season. So that gets factored into the price. So a team will have to give up someone, a pick that's worthy of that. They make you pay for that. And then you trade the prospects or whatever you think the value is of the player on top of that.
Rewind back. I didn't hear what you guys said because my screen froze. But Corbin Burns, 2023. That's exactly, 2024 to the Orioles. What's it going to cost? This is what it's going to cost, except I think Corbin Burns made 14 or 16 that year in arbitration. Freddie P is making half. Freddie P is going to make half, and that means a lot to teams. But hey, you know what? I hate it for my Milwaukee brethren that they would lose Freddie P. I get it. They have depth, they do, but man, you can't, because he's really turned into. He took another step this past year.
He did.
True.
Yeah. I mean, there are too many teams that need starters. This is too attractive. The Orioles could make an offer. I know they've already traded away a bunch of prospect capital and it's easier for them to spend, but they've also spent a lot. I mean, they could make a play. They've matched up with the Brewers in the past.
Yeah.
Don't rule it out. Is it likely?
Yankees, Orioles,
Mets.
There's some teams out there that could make a move for Freddie. That would definitely. Cubs would. They would probably.
Oh
trade him
yeah,
to the
Cubs would. Yeah, they wouldn't trade him to the Cubs, but the Cubs would love to get Freddie P. He doesn't cost much, and the Cubs are
Braves. What about the Braves?
That won't happen.
What won't happen? Braves.
No, the Cubs.
Oh, okay.
To me, I think this is the
Brady?
Yankees. Got to be the Yankees, right?
Well,
I don't know if it has to be because it depends on how they match up. The Brewers might say, hey, we don't love the prospects you're throwing our way.
true.
But
Red Sox?
I mean, they offloaded Collins already. Do they need to restock in the outfield? Do they need to I don't know.
Is this the year?
Dominguez?
Here's a better question. Is this the year with the Brewers where
What
they
about
finally lost too much and they can't do it again?
Oh, and then they don't make the playoffs?
Yeah, is this the year? Because
think
for
so.
years people have been saying this is the year. Is this at some point it comes to
No.
fruition?
This isn't the year, and I'll tell you why. They actually have a number of starters that will be back that can – it's not going to fill the place of Freddie P, but they do have many starting pitching options. Their farm system's in a better place the last few years, and I think that's what's taken them, again, to this next level of winning the division. And here's the most important part. Cardinals are going to be way worse. Reds have done nothing. Cubs have done nothing but rebuild a bullpen that was good and now fill that, but they haven't replaced Tucker or done much. So there's competition, but it's not like you look and you're like, oh,
Didn't
man.
mention a team.
What's the team I'm missing?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh got a little better. But
Just a little better?
Yeah,
Ooh,
just a little better
okay.
for me. You think they got a lot better? I think they got a little
I
better.
think they got a little better than a little.
Okay, they got better. But I still think the Brewers are the team to beat in the division.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
That's me.
Now let's see what Baseball Pacoda says
I don't care.
about the wins. How many wins they're going to have?
They don't.
What does
I
like
BetMGM?
the
What does
favorite
BetMGM?
For that.
What does BetMGM
This-
have for their win total right now?
I don't know, but we can check. We're doing that segment in a second. One other thing that just came through is Imai, in his press conference, said he will not pitch for Team Japan in the WBC. He wants to get acclimated with his teammates without a disruption during spring training. And then Chandler Rome also tweeted he wants to prioritize getting used to things in his first year. Wait, I'm going to add to that. I want to prioritize my free agent year. He's trying to show that he's a 150 mil pitcher and not a 63 or whatever the number is, right? To all of these major league teams that just said, meh, we don't really believe in you. Stuff-wise, if he can throw strikes, I think he could be a top-end starter, right?
Yeah.
And most teams just now said, meh, you're more of a 4, right?
Yeah.
With maybe 3 upside. He's trying to prove he's a 2. And then if you go back into the market as a 2 with that kind of stuff and upside, then you're now a 100 mil plus player. So for him, it's spring training, major leagues, screw the WBC.
How much is Team Japan going to get hurt? I mean, I know Shohei. Is Yamamoto playing for Team Japan?
Yamamoto is pitching. Shohei, I don't know if he's pitching.
But he's playing.
But he's playing.
But then is like Murakami probably won't play for Team
No,
Japan?
I think he will. And
You think?
Okamoto. Position players are an easier sell. I think
Is
those
it
guys
though?
will play.
Because these guys are coming over to the new team. A lot of times guys don't want to do it in their first year because they're getting acclimated to a new team and a new everything.
This is a big
I
part
don't
of
know.
their
It's
team.
a question. I know. That's what I'm saying. These are big names for Team Japan. That's why I'm wondering if these guys all say, hey, we're not doing it.
They get a lot of
I know they get a lot of pressure.
pressure.
But see, the thing about
It's just-
Team Japan that they also do is they go like a month early, if you remember, and they start practicing like now.
But this is where you have leverage to say, listen, I just signed with a new team. I'll play, but I'm going to play under my terms. I'm not doing the whole song and dance and everything else intensely.
I don't know. It's an interesting
They have
thought.
more leverage, the guys. They also just won last time around. So I think Team Japan's like, we'll take the talent, and if you need to work around your schedule a little bit, we'll do it.
Okay.
But we'll see. But no, am I.
It's interesting. It's just an interesting thought on because Team Japan had all these guys, and now a lot of them have come to the States. And now what happens to their team? Is it still as good as it was? And I still want Shohei facing whoever the best player is on Team USA in the finals with the game on the line, like he did with Mike Trout last time.
Judge.
What an unbelievable
So
Judge. Yeah. Shohei versus Judge, bottom of the
No,
ninth.
Trout, not Judge.
No, this time. Not last
this
time.
time.
I'm talking
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time.
Right. Shohei versus Judge would be awesome. Yes.
Right.
I
Bottom
agree.
of the ninth, tie game, 1-run lead, whatever it is. Like something like that. That's cool.
Super cool. But I don't know if Shohei will pitch. We'll see. All right, let's get to bet. Today's futures pick for BetMGM NL Rookie of the Year odds. The top three here are Nolan McLean plus 340, Sal Stewart plus 500, Bubba Chandler plus 700, JJ Weatherholt's also plus 700, Moises Ballesteros plus 800, Justin Crawford plus 900. And then, it starts to get lengthier there. Anybody on there? And there's a longer list that you guys have in your little notes if you want to go further down the board.
Connor Griffin, 1,200. Might be the last time you see four numbers behind his name. I think the Pirates are making the moves that reminds me back of when Fernando Tatis. Obviously, they're not making the same big moves like the Padres did, but Tatis in 19 had some veterans go in during spring training and say, this guy has to make the team. And I was on the Giants, and he made his debut that series against us. And obviously, Tatis is, his career has had some ups and downs, but there's electric in there. And Connor Griffin has shown he has that same electric, not just ability on the field, but also the fact that a normal Pittsburgh team would not have called him up until the free agency, whatever that window is. Now, with the extra bonuses you get as a team, I think they'll be less hesitant to make the move and go, look, we want another year. We think you're ready. We see this in you. You're our starting shortstop in the big leagues. And I think anytime that happens, I think he's gonna hit the ground running. And I think it would be his award to lose.
He turns 20 in April. That would be
if they
what
give him a
holds me
shot
back.
to make the team and be the shortstop, he'll probably win it.
You think so?
I think
20-year-old shortstop?
I think it's between him and I think Nolan McLean, with what we saw from him with the Mets last year, is the other guy if he stays healthy. Those are the two. I would rather put my money, like Kratz said, on Connor Griffin just because the plus 1,200 is a better bet for me. I don't think Ballesteros is going to get enough at bats. Justin Crawford, I don't know if he makes that team out of spring training. He might not. Tong didn't impress me enough. Bryce Eldridge, tough place, San Francisco to hit.
Agreed.
That hurts me.
Wait,
Bubba Chandler, are they going to start him? Are they going to pitch him out of the bullpen? What are they going to do? Sal Stewart strikes out too much for me. I think it's McLean and Griffin if he makes the team out of spring training. Those are the two for me.
I like value with Justin Crawford. I mean, you have to keep an eye on maybe spring training. But
One thing about Justin Crawford that he has and McLean, they play in big markets.
Wait.
That helps you.
Big markets, a very good regular season lineup where he can just slot right in.
Yes.
You're going to drive in a lot of runs, score a lot of runs, right? He's an all-around player, so the WAR should help him. Defense, speed.
Better for him.
I think all of those things add up, and Justin Crawford has some value. I'm not saying he's going to win, but there's value there. And they waited. I mean, he's not old, but this will be his age 22 season. He's turning 22 this month. So I just like that play. I think Justin Crawford could contribute because even if the bat's not supreme, got good support around you, and other parts of his game are going to be good right away.
But if he doesn't get off to a good start, there's a lot. But I agree.
Yeah. I think they're leaving a spot open for him to be a somewhat everyday guy.
Okay.
It's his.
Yeah.
It's his spot to win. Or I wouldn't say to lose, but he still has to win. He still has to show he can elevate pitches. He hits the ball hard. It's a lot on the ground. Everybody got on me. No, he's a left fielder. They really like what they see in center field, and I think they're going to give him a chance because they want him to be the everyday guy and not platoon their center field position, which will help in the Rookie of the Year stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. All right, BetMGM players can get an any sport parlay boost token to start off the new year right. Bigger payout if you use that and pair it up in your bet slip and activate the token. If you win with that wager made with the token, you get extra winnings. That's the simple way of how a parlay boost token works. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we got a few things to do here. First off, Dodgers territory is up and running. So if you'd like to check that out, then go for it. We had a couple replies to our tweet this morning, like, how come you only have a Dodgers show? We have 15 shows dedicated to teams. So if you've been snoozing, Dodgers territory happens to be live right after our show, but there are many other shows that you should check out half of the fans out there have their favorite team covered at this point. And there are more announcements, including one coming up this week with another team that's quite popular that is getting their own show. Also, Hot Sheet after Dodgers territory. I'll be on there with JJ Cooper and the crew over at Baseball America. So make sure you check that out. That's live on the BA YouTube channel. And that show will be switching day and time soon. I'll let you know later this month about that. Lastly, Kratz. Oh, before that, here's AJ hanging out with his friends.
Yeah, there's
Africa.
the BetMGM lion. Look at him.
There he is in real life.
Leo.
A hippo.
Gloria. That's Gloria from Madagascar. And there's the bird. See?
Oh, that is really cool. That's in Dubai?
Yeah, that's the birds. And there it is. Kilimanjaro. There it is. 3,610 meters, Kratz. Translate that for me.
About
It's like
10,000
12,000 feet. No, it's higher. 3.3 something, isn't it? Feet per meter or something like that?
It is 11,843.
11,843. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
It's a lot of feet.
It's a lot of feet.
Next year, FT on top of Kilimanjaro.
Yep. Boom. They don't have Wi-Fi, though, I don't think, up there. They definitely don't have Twitter.
Definitely no Twitter.
On top of Kilimanjaro, the ride at Animal Kingdom, which I did the other day. Much easier to accomplish.
Deal.
So I did the Disney tour during
Yeti.
the
The
break.
Yeti.
Yes, with the Yeti. All right, good show. Welcome back to AJ. We do this every day, 1 o'clock Eastern time, back on Tuesday. Great guest list this week, full of players that signed over the past few weeks. So look forward to that. We'll see you on Tuesday or see you on Dodgers territory in Hot Sheet.
And one manager that signed.